take you anywhere. Just tell me I'll be there. We don't need a plan, I like it unprepared. Whatever comes our way, we'll stay there for the day. So dream, dream away. So dream, dream away. Clear up my vision. I want colors to find. Turned up from black and white. Find what I'm seeking. Leave my troubles behind. Stars from another time. We're leaving now. Into the clouds. I'll take you anywhere. Just tell me I'll be there. We don't need a plan. I like it unprepared. Whatever comes our way, we'll stay there for the day. So dream, dream away. So dream, dream away. Take you anywhere. Just tell me I'll be there. Whatever comes our way, we'll stay there for the day. So dream, dream away. So dream, dream away. So dream, dream away.
Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Welcome to the Crypto Liver Show. Let's get that music back up and running. See how everything's going. God bless each and every one of you. Amazing day. Let's see if we can make a big. I'm going to show you something that just happened. I was steps away from one of the biggest trades of my life, and we're going to break it down right here on Bitunix. So let me show you what was happening here on Bitunix. And right now we're running a cool campaign again on Bitunix. If you want to jump on into Bitunix, hit the link, all right, and you will get hooked up. I always should have that stuff just sent to my inbox with a definition every morning, and then I won't have to think. I don't want to have to think. If I could think less, it would be better. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. So look, Bitcoin, this is a little idea that would bounce off the 200 MA, right? And I said, if I full ported, all right, it was going, at the time, it was going to be a $5,000 loss or an $18,000 win. And I was about to click it. And then I went and did my tie. I came back and was like, if I just clicked it and walked away, it would be up huge to the upside. And it would have made 18 grand. You know, again, it would have been a $3.3 million trade, right? I have 100 grand in there at 33x leverage. It would have been the biggest trade I ever made. Again, I didn't do it, but it was so. But what I'm doing is I'm training for these bigger ideas for just, and look, that would have been in the market for 10 minutes, 18K, call it a day. Again, don't replicate these strategies if you don't know what you're doing, small amounts. And again, I don't make, you know, I don't do that. I'm usually 300 for 900, 400 for 1200, 200 for 600, 100 for 300, depending on the day. You know, 500 for, you know, most is like 3,000 for 9,000, 5,000 for 15. Some of the biggest ones have been like $100,000 trades, but you know, maybe the biggest one was a $375,000 trade. One time I made $1 million trade, right? I'm getting up there slowly, but it takes time. You know, you got to start with small amounts of money day by day. Let's take a look at what's happening to BTC and break it down. God bless you. Honey, I can't do this. You got to jump on out, all right? Thank you, sweetie. God bless you. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for hanging on in. So I just got a few distractions in the studio. I love my kids so much, man. But I got to hone in, and I can't do two things at once. It's unable. Shout out to my beautiful, beautiful lifers. God bless each and every one of you for being here. And shout out to everybody here on the live. Please forgive me yet again. All right. Moving forward. So this looks a little bit like a bear flag to me. No? But we've been toying with the 200 MA on the 5 and 7 minute time frame. 5 minute here too, and that's a bit of a double bottom, right? I mean, 1, 2, and they've been playing with price action today. I even said this morning that I wouldn't touch anything. You know, I started the scalp, it went up, came down, I got out $40, and came down, pumped, right? So people got rocked and wrecked already this morning. I told my students it was the first time, like once every 30 days, a couple times a month, maybe I'll be like, I don't have an edge. If I don't have an edge, I'm not trading. I'm not going to force myself to trade if I don't see, you know, fine, we're above the 200 MA, but then we're toying with it on the 4. We're going to break it down, and I'm going to show you what I'm seeing and why I'm halting and saying, hey, let's just take a break here for a second and not go full tilt. God bless my peoples, man. Today is a weird day for me because I like to know exactly what Bitcoin's going to do, and right now it's acting pretty funky, you know, and it's giving me mixed signals. The 4 hour looks stressed, like if any moment we lose that 200 MA, we're going to take a tumble. But then there's some small time frames that are showing signs of the, you know, so I'm getting a lot of mixed signals in and out. I think we have Jerome Powell speaking today. Man, it's going to be one of those days. So that's all we need, right? Every time that guy talks, something happens to the market too as well. So then we have the trade wars, right? Back up to 245% against China. They're saying, boom, it's back. It's like they're going at each other now, and we're going to see what happens there. So we've got a lot coming at us. This has been one of the most treacherous times to trade in my entire life. It's been absolute insanity, in my humble opinion. Like insane, right? And we still maintain, but it's just been crazy. Right now, I mean, this looks bullish to me on the smaller time frame, right? That we could get a nice move here on the 50-minute to the upside. Let's just slow it down, go back to the weekly, and break down what's happening. All right. I'm at 83.8, stop below 85. Rate cuts today. I don't know about that. Trump got it, and you know, knowing when to stay out because your edge isn't there is a superpower. Shout out to Wild Nature. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, the edge works so well, and it's like ready to put. It's like print. And then today was like, Funny, I still would have printed right there, though. I'd still be up 18K right now on that move. Had I, you know what I mean? Crazy. But again, it would have been insane. Imagine the insanity there, too. Right. But ways to think about it. So like I'm looking at this like it's a possible bear flag, but then there's a chance that we're like double bottoming here too. You see what I'm saying? So you'd be like, okay, I'll long the double bottom and then get stopped out when the bear flag, you know, or short the bear flag, but get stopped out when the double bottom hits. So like, you know, that's why I got mixed signals on multiple time frames, saying multiple things. Let's take a look here at the weekly time frame and break it down for you as well. That's why I tell myself after I do or don't make a trade, cup and handle on the small time frames, knowing when to stay out because you're amen. What the markets will be looking for Powell today are the remarks regarding the recent bullish economic data. I mean, today came out bullish, right? If you look at retail spending month over month, core retail spending, it was up a 0.1%, and then it was up here 0.1%, right? So it was higher than forecast and way above previous. So it's a bit, that's bullish. People are spending. So by whatever these standards, you could see the gas is still kind of, I think, it cost me a pretty penny to fill my tank the other day, higher than it, above into the highest zones. It was like $90 to fill the Cadillac. I mean, it was been 85, 89, 90, 409 for super, so for 93 octane, you know what I'm saying? So when you look at it, gas price is still up pretty high. For the average consumer, prices are still pretty high. But they doctor these, they changed it year over year instead of year over 2 years. I don't know. They did a bunch of funny stuff to flip the data as best they could, So this is a bullish falling wedge that breaks out 68% of the time. The weekly looks good, but it's got a wick to the downside. 84,000 seems to be a stronghold we've been hanging out at for a while. But, we're not out of the fire yet. Some say we've broken out. Hidden bullish divergence. Hidden bullish is when you have this swing up, when you have a swing down on the RSI, in case anyone's new here. I know a lot of people know it, and I say it every day for the last like 20, 30, 40 days or something, but swing down, swing up tells me that we should break this high before we break these lows. And no matter what they do here and what they try to make you feel like, it's all emotional, it's all whatever's. I gotta buy when I see hidden bullish divergence and the fear and greed was at 10. If I saw those indications, I took my shot. I got in at 84, and then I, proceeded to DCA down to 76,000. We'll see what happens. I've played my shot. I've bought BTC, and I do this whenever the 2-week is super low on the stochastic, below the dotted line. Whenever the weekly is below the dotted line, like, those areas right here, right there, right there. This is where I'm buying here. Whenever the stochastic on the weekly is below the dotted line, that's where I buy Bitcoin. It's a very simple strategy. Like, you don't have to be a rocket science here. Had you done it here, you would have bought the low right there at 20K. Had you done it here, you'd have bought the absolute bottoms. Had you would have bought there and there, absolute double bottom, a little bit, and mostly down there, right there, right? At 55, 59,000. I loaded up around here too. I bought a lot of BTC around here. When people were bugging out, I was just like, well, there was a lot of fear there. That wick was massive fear, so, and then they gave you massive fear again to give you a higher low. As I said to everybody, we're in an uptrend. I've take away the moving averages. We're in a beautiful uptrend. All right, there's a low, there's a high, there's a low, there's a high, there's a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. That's still a higher high. Am I wrong here? Is anyone against me on this and say, no, we're in a bear market? And so you made until you make a lower low, until you take out, if you take out 54,350, barely retest it, hit it. Like, if we make some move through this area, then that's bearish. And what will happen is you usually do something like this and you make shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder, shoulder. And then 25K could happen, 22,000. I'm open-minded that anything could be a black swan. Anything could change the world. You never know. You must be open-minded to things that you don't even believe. Like, I don't believe this is happening. But what I believe doesn't matter. I've learned in my lifetime that when it comes to trading, what I think and believe has no place in my trading repertoire. Like, it doesn't matter what I think or believe, what Bitcoin can do. I've studied history over time. It looks like they're going to continue to print money. That's what I know to be true. One thing I know to be true is they're going to continue to print money to zero. They've done it for so long. Why wouldn't they continue to do it again? I mean, and they've done it for civilization after civilization. And we're in this fiat currency system. It looks very similar to the way we had it before. You see what I'm saying? And don't get discouraged just on one day of trading, everyone. Deep breaths, beginners. I see people like, is the NASDAQ more predictable? Take a deep breath. You're okay. It's just one step, one day, one moment at a time. Nothing is more predictable. Price action is price action. Daily is daily. You never know. I still make one of the biggest trades of my life today on this stream. You never know. Pay attention. We may make a $3 million trade. You never know. You just never know what's going to happen, what you're going to see here on this channel. So pay attention. Okay. So the NASDAQ, all right. We'll get to that in a little while, but thank you for asking, and I appreciate that. A lot of nerves are high today, too. It's good to calm them down, take a deep breath. Walk in nature would be a good thing today. A bike ride would be a good thing today. You know, reset your chi, reset yourself, find your chi. So we're inside of this kind of falling wedge on the 3-day chart that is slightly broken out. It has a double bottom right there, clear as day at 78,275. So Bitcoin has clearly shown support, and it looks like it wants to continue to rip to the upside. Bitcoin ripping, and you can see it bounced beautifully off the 200 MA and then went skyrocket high. And again, the double bottom just went. Look, you find a double bottom. The measured move of the double bottom, I use wick to wick algorithmically. It tells you should get to about 84,000. Man, had I made that trade, wow. I would have made like 30 racks, 30 grand. And I would have risked 5 grand to make 30 grand in about an hour. Oh, man. That's amazing. All right. Previous day high is always a good pay the trader. Amen. Amen. So 84,369, my buy at 84K, you know, sitting there to stay on. Unbelievable. So Bitcoin looks good on the 3-day chart, right? The 3-day chart looks like you're ready for bullishness, crossing the line of momentum on the stochastics RSI. What is the line of momentum? When you cross the dotted line, explosive moves are happening. Right here, you cross the dotted line, boom. You came down, you crossed it again, boom. You kind of came down here, and then as you started to even ramp up. I mean, that was a huge move. All that occurred up here. You see? We had a massive move. Could the 3-day chart be ready for its next? It hasn't been up here since right there. Since September 21st of 2024. Okay, this is the last time the 3-day chart breached this line since it came down for a massive. See, other time it came up here, but it didn't get above the line yet. See what I'm saying? Last time it crossed this line, it was like this, was in September of 2024. It's been a while. And here we are back in April. Are we getting ready for our next leg to the upside? So there's some bullishness in the air, isn't there? A little bit. Do I got you going a little bit? Do I got you a little excited? Then at the beginning, you were a little bearish, weren't you? You're a little down on yourself. Now you're like, wait, just wait. There just might be a chance here. So let's take a look. Let's keep looking. Let's keep adding up the facts here. Let's talk about it. All right, let's not shy away from what we're seeing. Our emotions will blind us because we want to see what we want to see. Hey, maybe that's not what we're supposed to see. Maybe we got to see what we need to see, or we got to see what we got to see, not what we want to see. And that's why want and need don't work for us, because what we want and need don't do anything for us. They create lack. We need to possess the ability to create more from within. You see? That starts with your language. The way you speak creates your thoughts, and your thoughts create where you're going in life. Negative thoughts for a second are okay. Everybody has them, but they can't consume you. They're in, one out. Let them out. Talk to a friend. Tell somebody. You might have a buddy. Say, hey, I'm feeling like this today. They'll tell you, hey, that's just today, bro. You'll be all right. Take a deep breath. Move on. Happens to me sometimes. You think I'm perfect? No way. But I show up every single day no matter what. You think some days there's never been you think every single day of my live stream's been easy? Think every single day I wake up and it's awesome? It's pretty awesome, I'll be honest. There's great days we win, and it feels like we can't stop winning. But there's highs and lows for sure. So let's take a look here at the daily time frame. The daily in a bull flag, as far as I'm concerned, with a nice measured move. And so that looks like we could do damage here. And there's I see a shoulder, a head, and a bit of a right shoulder that could break to the upside. That's what I'm seeing. Measured move takes you to 93.6. There's a POC right here. We'd break through that. Boom, boom, boom. We'd finally cross the 200 MA for a real, and get on with it. And stop playing this game. All right? And we'd realize that Bitcoin is the true asset of the world. Like, everybody's dumping in pensions, states, other countries, you name it. Like, it's BTC. And then this is a broadening falling wedge as far as I'm concerned. And that is your measured move. And that tells me, too, you're going somewhere to 92.8, 92,000. So, and all you got to do is make this punch, little resistance, flag out on the 4 or the 1 hour, get through this, boom. We crack 87,000. We head to 90K. We're at 90. And then when the 8 becomes a 9, things start to get crazy. Okay? So right now, the daily, you got to, that's why I bought Bitcoin. That's why I bought 84,000, 78. I bought all this Bitcoin here because the low was in at those fear and greed index levels. I had never seen it at 10 in a long time. And 29 still, these are still beautiful buy zones. 29, and again, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I'm saying you should be taken as such, but these are beautiful, beautiful buy zones as far as I'm concerned. All right, it's up to you. You got to make your own idea for that. But for me, oh my gosh. And thank you to all the new subscribers of the channel on our way to 100,000 subscribers and counting. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much. Much appreciated to everybody that hit that like button. May God bless each and every one of you for being here. So I like what I'm seeing here for the daily time frame for Bitcoin. Like, if you just kind of zoom out, you sit on the daily, the high stochastics are a little but there's a chance you long this flag would have stopped below like that wick right there. And there's a chance that that does play out. Wow, that would be a 12-to-1 risk reward ratio. Really? Is that? I almost don't believe it. You're telling me the stop could be as low as 79K. So I could do $3,000 for $9,000 with a stop below 80K. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people aren't willing to do this. This would take a long time, but you'd either make $9,000 or lose $3,000. You do that 10 times and you lose it 7 times, you lose 21,000. You win 3 times, you win 27,000. You're still up about $6,000, and you only win 3 out of 10 trades. Now, again, most people can't handle that. That's the thing. Trading isn't easy. People think it is. It's not. Now, again, there's no saying you're going to win 3 out of 10. You might win 5 out of 10. You might win 2 out of 10. It's happened, but the odds are low. If you use a system that makes sense and you back test it and you demo trade and you put years into work into it, and then you start using money once you actually know what you're doing. That would make sense, right? It's like you should start driving a car, but you go to driving school first, right? Like, if you don't have a mentor, if you don't go to class, if you don't at least go and type in TA on YouTube and like me, I'm giving away free information. If you don't get some free information on YouTube, which I offer every single day, so there's no excuse for anyone that says they don't have any money, because I don't gouge. If you want to join my Discord for 99, by all means, but I started my business by giving my information away for free every single day, and I continue to do so in the most gracious manner in which I can, because I really truly believe that I have no idea where my life will go, right? I don't know when God's going to take me from this green earth. I hope I get to live a wonderful long life. I really do. I pray every day that I live a life long with my daughters and my wife, but I have no clue. So if right now you didn't know where you were going to go, right? And that's the truth for all of us. No offense. I'm sorry to hurt your feelings, but none of us know when we're going to go. None of us, it can scare you a second if you think about it. Then you have to take a deep breath and be with the Lord. But none of us know. The odds are good we'll all be here tomorrow, but none of us know. None of us know that. So if none of us know that, what can we do today? We got to do anything that would leave the lasting legacy that we want people to remember us by. I would like to be remembered as a guy that was pretty generous, gave away his knowledge, and did the right thing. So I do it every day, because who knows when my last day will be. Amen. You know what I mean? Sorry, I don't mean to be bleak. I just got to be real. So if you put your best foot forward every single day, you'll be remembered for someone that did that. And you're gonna basically solidify your legacy. But that's not going to be an easy life. That means sometimes you're going to have to put what people are going to remember you by over the money. You're going to have to care more about your legacy than money. And a lot of people care way more about money than legacy. And that's why, they'll get rich, but we'll never hear about them. I want to be remembered. I want someone to actually open up a book and say, who was this guy? That's my goal. If I get rich doing that, so be it. But my true goal is to be remembered. I always tell everyone that my mom said we named you Samuel after Mark Twain, Samuel Clemens. And from that day on, I researched him and found him to be an amazing person. Yet he was passed away. He wasn't alive. Yet he changed my life more than almost anyone I've ever met. He was so amazing. He's a philosopher. Some of the greatest quotes ever to this day are put to his name. I say a lot of his stuff every single day. I never let my schooling interfere with my education. Genius. The guy was a genius. You know? And so with that being said, if I could get an inkling, and again, I probably will never, who knows? But I believe, I gotta believe, right? But if I can be an inkling of 0.01%, I could be remembered as much as he was. All right, so my dream, my goal is to be remembered. And if you can hit that like button and hit subscribe and help us do that, then you're gonna help me accomplish a dream and a goal. Look at 8444, all the fours when I said that. It was 444s, the quadruple fours. I thought that was crazy. A special moment in time with the numbers, man. So anyway, Bitcoin on this bullish flag looks like we could get a massive move to the upside. All right? Again, it's a gutsy call. Could even be a 6-to-1 risk-reward ratio here. Actually, sorry, you got to get in. My bad. I've had that wrong the whole time. Yeah, it's a 4-to-1 closely. 3-to-1, and you'd have to be below about 81 too. And again, it could drop on you, right? It's been a sketchy market, but that is a bull flag above the 21-day moving average. There's a chance that you kind of you get a little dip here in the Stokes, but all it is just the next red candle. And then we get this little, and then boom. And that little dip is all we need, and we get that move on the daily. I've seen it. It could happen. And then we liquidate. Look at the beautiful gap of the VRVP. Look at that order block up there. And look, there's liquidity up here. And there's stops right up here too. Still sitting short, right? So, bang, bang, bang. All right. So there we see this here on Bitcoin, a bit of a flag on the daily time frame. This is the most promising thing that I can, I'm looking at on the daily here. And it's a bullish sign. It is a bullish sign. Shout out to everybody here on the lives. We have 1,760 beautiful people here. 341 of those beautiful people decided to hit the like button. God, thank you so much for those people. They're the nicest people you've ever met. Those are the people that would tip big at the restaurant, give their heart away. May God bless those people. May they get tenfold what they gave me today on those likes. And I'm very grateful for those 342 likes, man. They are blessed people that did that for me. Amen. So we're starting to get a bit of a pump here, back to 84,560 for Bitcoin. Look at this, the 22-hour looking bullish too. And it's defying some bearish div on the indicator, which is, a rare sign. But, you're getting a bullish engulfing candle there on the 22-hour time frame. See, once you leave these time frames, you can't find the flag anymore. So it's almost, sometimes you got to know what time frames to get the information from. See, look, this is all whack-taculous here, right? But what's happening is the 4-hour has bounced off the 200 MA. I told my students over and over again not to do a massive short unless we close the candle. They closed one, but then they flipped it last night. I was up till 2, 3 in the morning watching this. If that candle closed, I was going to have a massive short. I told everyone, maybe we have to short all night. It looked sketchy last night, and then they flipped it back to the upside. Now it's a bit of a double bottom in a way, right? Kind of a lower high, a lower low, though, as those candles aren't as low as this one. But it does resemble a bit of a double bottom. I said, okay, it's a broadening wedge, I guess, And these break to the upside. They remind me of a duck for some reason, like a duck bill, like it's just a bird. So you would, at least expect this to bounce back to the top of the channel. That's what we were looking for, last night when the candle, and then we got the redness this morning. They did a false move Monday today, really, is what they did. Like, it started as a false move. Boom. Now, my thing is to play when the 5-minute breaks above the 200 MA. So we did it here, there was a pump, but then it was false move. Here it started, they made a flag here too, and that flag dipped off. And then as I showed you, I was about to go full port on the Bitunix trade there and risk $5,000 for 18,000 for the first time in my life, one of the biggest trades in my life. And had I done it, I would have made it. I got to write that down. Like, you didn't pull the trigger. You got, and it's a model that I've studied for years. So it's not like I was going to, just go blind on something crazy. I was like, man, that bounced off the 200. And now I was getting in there, and then it started to go red. And I was like, oh man, look what would have happened, right? So it would have been huge. I would have shown one of the biggest wins of my life. But it's okay. I'll get there. I'll get there. I believe I will get there if I push myself every single day. But if I just throw it down one day out of nowhere too, and I take a huge loss, that's not going to be fun. So I gotta be disciplined. I have access to funds. You know what I mean? That's also good and bad. A lot of people, you have a lot of money, they actually lose more. It's not easy making money. It's not easy keeping money. You got to be disciplined. I'm telling you right now. You see me making some of these small trades sometimes. You're like, why is this guy doing that? Because I'm keeping my mind right. It's very similar to a guy who goes to Vegas, and you go to Vegas, say you just hit big one night. You're up like 20, 30 grand, and you're not used to big money. So you're supposed to take like 25 to 27,000 and like put it away, right? And then you're supposed to go back and play with 3 grand and have fun if you're there for the weekend, you know. You're not supposed to take like 17 of it and think, what if I could make 170 grand? Or, you know what, why don't I just try to turn the 30 into 300? And usually you'll leave the casino with no money. You know, so I'm on that same persuasion when it comes to trading. Like, and I'm not, you know, for me, everything is an edge. If I gained an edge already, I'm not giving the edge back. If I was in war and we had won, like, you know, we had pushed the front back a little bit, I would do everything I can not to lose what I had, not to lose that footing. What if, you know, because what happens in war is they win a little bit and then they get over advantageous. Instead of sitting back, keeping what they won, waiting for reinforcements, kind of, you know, stabilizing, they decide to go too far, too fast. And then, you know, and eventually there's some Swiss cheese in the line, and eventually you get what I'm saying, right? You go forward too fast, without regrouping, and you can get sliced up. That's the same in trading. It's the same in war. Trading to me is war, man. I say it all the time. Someone's willing to take all my money here, aren't they? They're willing to take. If I decide, they will make me broke, won't they? If I decide to keep trading the wrong way, they will make me broke. They will take everything I have gladly, right? The market will take everything I have gladly. There's no one stop. It's me and the market. And the market will take everything I have. It'll take my dignity, my soul. Like it literally, some days it feels like it could take your mind, your soul, your dignity, everything you have, right? If you let it. If you let it. If you let it. Now, I attempt to teach you how not to let the market take you and destroy you. Mentally, how to stay mentally strong. You know, how to walk away when it doesn't look like it's going your way. You know, how to have the discipline not to go all in when everyone else is, because you got to show them how big you are and how big your gains are, because you can't handle it, because you're not disciplined. Because you saw everyone else post gains, so you had to go all the way all in with 200x before you knew what you were doing. You can use big leverage if you know what you're doing. If you do not have a plan, a focus, or a discipline when it comes to what you're doing in trading, you're likely going to lose your money. Okay? 90% of people are going to come in here and they're not going to be successful. Again, they're also not going to join a trading group. They're going to think everything out there is not worth it and doesn't provide optimal data. They're going to say this doesn't work. They're going to do something for a month or two and say this, yeah, his strategies are garbage. Every single person that I've ever seen watch me for more than 6 to 7 months, maybe even a couple weeks sometimes, who puts in the actual work, the focus, and the discipline, I've seen from comments here to tweets to DMs to people in the testimonials. And it's just all I see all the time, constantly, is people saying how much they love what they learned on the channel. So let's get back to brass tacks here with Bitcoin. Where was I last? Where were we last here? Yeah, so the 4 hour, right, should be bouncing back to the top of this pattern now. If it's what's called a broadening rising rising wedge, right? Is that what it, yeah. And it should eventually break to the upside, or a broadening wedge. Eventually break to the upside. Usually what they do, you know, in general, up, down, up, maybe down here, boom, and then a breakout. Something like that. Could even be kind of considered an inverted head and shoulder if we get, you know, that's what we're looking for. 84.5 is beautiful. I'll take it. I'll take it. And that's huge. So this trade would have really mooned, man, and still hadn't been going. I basically waited for that candle to close, and was about to open the trade right there and just let it rip. My strategy is just to play that. It's also the flag. I mean, it's got everything. That's my model right there. On the 1 minute time frame, came back, and there's the cup and handle too there. You can see there's an inverted head and shoulder there. There's a tiny cup and handle in there that you could have played on the 30-second, possibly a smaller time frame. See, that's a microcosm of that. And wow, and look at Bitcoin ripping to the upside, just absolutely demoralizing the shorts here again. And we're getting another pump, and the shorts are getting rocked. And they had liquidity down to 83.8, but it doesn't matter. Bitcoin pumping to 84,650 on a massive move to the upside here. Just absolutely ripping. Imagine that, man. I can't think about it anymore. But it'll haunt me. It'll haunt me now. That trade would have been huge. One of the biggest trades of my entire life. Anyway, woulda, shoulda, coulda. It's not there anymore. Forget about it. But wow, look at the small time frames absolutely erupting. I'm looking for it to at least consolidate a little bit. This thing is just gone, baby, gone. It's eventually got to make some type of flag here. So I'll basically chase small price action, not buying it, but I'll chase it as a technical analyst, and I'll just keep kind of attempting to trap it here until I get it in some type of frame function that I'm looking for a possible continuation. But shout out to Bitcoin at 84,006. Let's get back to the bigger time frame idea. I don't know how I lost my oh yeah, so here we are. So the 4 hour is doing what it's supposed to be doing. We got back above the 200 MA, we got the bounce. I don't know how these 200 MAs do what they do, but they do. So now we know that the 4 hour is kind of in charge here. And you could say, well, Bitcoin attempted to bounce off this bottom trend line. And even this morning, I said that kind of looks like a bear flag to me. I mean, you can't say it doesn't. So I had some mixed signals, but I said I could see it going either way. But that's why I just trade the 200 MA. When I can see it going either way, I just wait for it to cross the 200. Cross the 200, then you long, right? And I probably would have long had I just had a smaller amount of money. For once, I was like, what if I just made this a monster? It is what it is. It'll haunt me for a day or not even like an hour. Woulda, shoulda, coulda, getting over woulda, shoulda, coulda, just not even utilizing your brain for it is really good. Because what is it going to do for you? Like, what is it going to do for me? It ain't going to do nothing. I got to extrapolate that and move on. So next awesome trade could be like this. So what I have to do is get my head in the game and get ready for my next opportunity. I got to forget about any missed opportunities, learn from them, move on, and get ready. So we see that the 4 hour could head to the top of the channel. Looks like Bitcoin might go to 85,800 today. Nothing crazy, but that's what we're looking for. And we want to see something tight like this here. Right? That would be awesome. It might make a downward flag. We don't know exactly what it's going to do, but we want the interaction with the 21-day moving average. We know that we need this white line to touch price action or get very close to it at least, and we know we'd like to see this stochastic reset. You can put alerts on the stochastics RSI. I got an alert down there. When Bitcoin hits down there, it'll hit. You can also put an alert like this. Right click it. You hit control, grab another one, right click it, add alerts, 2 alerts right there. You can then even, hit Alt J, which is like what's called array, add an alert there too as well. And look, you got like 4 alerts all over this puppy. And so if Bitcoin spikes up and hits the alert, ding. If Bitcoin crosses, ding. If it crosses again, ding. And this is how you can basically not have to stare at the chart. Like, you can set up what you believe is going to happen and then set alerts on where those price action should go. If price action goes to those areas, hits your alerts. And look, I even have an alert on the stochastics RSI. It's a beautiful way to not have to stare, because I thought about it. I was like, how do you not stare at the charts but know exactly what's happening? Well, you spend your time analyzing, and then you just piecemeal your alerts around the analyzation. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to be perfect. There's days it's going to continue to bump out of control. Like today is just ripping, right? We're getting this awesome rippage. Like, wow, this might just, is this in like a rising wedge that wants to just moon? Yeah, there's a possibility there of just some monster moonage, right? We'll see. I like to see the stochastic reset first. So like what I do is what I showed you is I'll go to Bitunix, right? And check it out. Sean, could you send me the Bitunix campaign just like in a thing so I can like make a flyer out of it? So look, we double bottomed off the 200 MA on the 5-minute time frame and just skyrocketed. One of my known little signals too. I don't know why I didn't pull the trigger, man. I got to pull the trigger. You got to pull the trigger, Sammy. But that is insane, right? And very similar to that 15-minute trade we made like a week ago now, right? Same idea, same scenario, just using like these are predictive models that can be used on multiple time frames. And I can't understand, you gotta understand though, it's not like you don't do it whenever you want. There's gotta be, but even here, when that candle closed above it, you get in, that would have made money. When that candle closed above it, it was almost too much. But if you were able to get this smaller one, it did just close right there, and then you sniped that. This did go low first, though. And this kind of wicked down around it, and then it ripped. It's not perfect, but once you saw the double bottom, said, hey, I saw it. Would have been a magnanimous trade. So let's take a look at the next trade and see. Like, what happened in the past stays in the past. It can't help the future. We can learn from it, and that's it. But it doesn't exist anymore. Right? Like if I draw this line, but then I delete it, it doesn't exist anymore. Like it happened, it existed that I did draw the line, but right now it doesn't exist. So like the past doesn't exist. It happened, but it doesn't exist. It's strange because it just happened now. Like the present becomes the past so fast. Like we're on this treadmill of time. It's very awkward. It's very, when you really think about it, it can make you, for me, it can be like, whoa, that's a lot. That's why I just have to calm down and take life one step at a time. Cherish the moments that you have when your daughter's smiling at you and she's 9 months old. Say, wow, she'll only be 9 months old for so long. I must cherish this moment. Really breathe in the moments. My 4-year-old, my kids, make sure my kids get the best of me, not the stress of me. That's a great line that I just came up with. But make sure your kids get the best of you, not the stress of you. And if you got to go out and meditate, whatever you got to do so your family gets the best of you. Even for me, sometimes the market does stress me out. I don't want to see my family watching me stress, so I go for a walk. I take some time alone. I say, hey, I know I'm pretty stressed right now. I just need to go for a walk or something. Clear my head, So you breathe in, breathe out. You kind of move through your own thoughts. It helps you. It helps me. So here's the next idea for Bitcoin, all right? We're all human beings. Sad to say we're not cyborgs. We're made up of like a bunch of different stuff, water, like we're going to struggle. There's going to be ups and downs. We're not always going to feel amazing every single day. Our joints are my back got thrown out. Last Tuesday, I went to go to work out and I bent down to grab a weight and a sharp pain in my back. I'm fine now. Today's like the best day since then, but I still know something happened, And I'm like, I don't want to go too hard working out because if I work out, it's just, who knows? So I've been taking it easy, but that's like throwing off my routine. But it is what it is. Like we go through these struggles. Now I think I'm smart because if I overwork out at the wrong time, I could definitely end up, ruining things for myself in the long term. I want to be able to work out. So, I had a good mentor who's teaching me how to work out, and a couple times he got hurt, and I got hurt after him, and we would talk about like how not pushing yourself when injured is how you stay in the long game. You keep pushing yourself when you're injured, then you may not work out. Like you could take yourself out for months. And I don't want to be out of my workout game for more than just a week or two. So it's so important to me I get back to working out. Like it's such a big part of my life. And I believe it's a part of everybody's regimen if you want to be feel the best about yourself. Every dad, every mom, if you want to be there for your kids, you should be in the best shape. Right? I mean, I think it just goes hand in hand with perseverance. You ever see someone wash their car in their driveway, take care of it? Like it's like, just do the same thing for your body and mind. Wow, this price action is just booming. And again, the breakout. And it's like this little tiny flag on the 1 minute was the entry there. For me, it's just, it was an inverted head and shoulder, the rising wedge. To me, it's just a little sketchy. I need more consolidation. I don't chase green pumps, so just not my style. I can't do that. I get the FOMO vibes. I feel it in my heart, but I never, I know better. It's got to consolidate into some type of flag for me to want to get down. You really want to pick your time frame and be pretty stubborn about it. The FOMO can kick in and make you change your plans. We can't do that. So like what we know is and I've seen this like probably a few thousand times in my life, so it helps. But I want to see the 21 come. I want to see price action get tight, and then I would like to execute on the trade. This is what I'll be looking to do here if we get busy. And the cool thing about it is now you can start kind of really mapping it out. You can see your risk to reward ratio. You can see what makes sense. And here, look, you can put it in right here. So like we'd like to go to 85,971. Wow, that's some big ambitious move, right? Doesn't mean we're going there for sure. I'm just projecting right now. And I'm not making this trade right now. I want to make that clear too. Price action must fulfill my quantum theory there, like what I see happening in the future. Now, if it does not, then I'll either reimagine, is it making a falling wedge here? Which I'm willing to take that trade too. That trade trade's just as good as this trade. They're both good to me. A little better if it goes sideways because that's a little more bullish, right? It says, hey, so many more people want to get down that it didn't even get a chance to pull back to the 21. It had to go sideways and pull the 21 up to it. So how the 21 comes back into price action also teaches you a probability, because it says, hey, if the price action has to come back to the 21, it's still got good probabilities. But if it pulls the 21, it's got even better probabilities. You understand? Does this make sense? Or am I speaking gibberish? Are some people lost in the sauce here? I don't know. I believe if I just started, I may not understand, but if I was watching me for a while, this would come full circle. Shout out to Mad B. Great morning to you, Sam. Thoughts on ADA, please. Let's take a look at Cardano. Shout out to Mad 8 or Mad B. Yeah, thank you so much, brother. Bitcoin is fixing to dump now, somebody says. Anything could happen. I keep it open-minded, one step at a time. All right. It's fixing to do something. I'll be ready. I don't know exactly what it's going to do, but I'll take it. Great TA, is the class and the group separate? They are, yes. Yes. But I do have a pretty cool 30-minute course inside, and I have I have other things, and there's basically a course also, all my trading tips and tricks inside of the Discord as well. If you watch all those videos, you're going to learn a lot. Okay. Trading and seeing trades, planning trades is all about manifesting, isn't it? It is 100%. It's like you're basically learning how to manifest. Trading actually teaches you manifestation. Isn't that strange? Because it teaches you what to take, what you plan on seeing. If you don't see it, then you don't take it. The only difference between trading and manifestation is when you manifest and you truly believe it will go exactly, it will go the way you planned it. It may take a little longer. It may not happen at the exact timing, but you'll see when you look back that your manifestations came true. Almost to a T. Like almost exactly as you describe them. It's scary. Trading doesn't always follow your manifestation, right? But what you'll do is you have a parameter for that. So look, and this will take time. 5-minute chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That could be 30 minutes, 40 minutes until I decide that that's ready to go. Now, 85,971 for 84,273, right? And so that would be 9,000 for 9,800 for 52,000, right? So that would be a monster trade. 5-to-1 risk reward ratio. You know what I mean? We'd risk $8,000 to make $53,000. Imagine that. And it would take like an hour at the most if that thing broke out the way it is. Now, am I going to full port? Highly unlikely. But maybe 1,000 for 6,000 is a pretty good idea, or even like 500 for 2,500. You know what I mean? So if this trade starts to play out and I like what I'm seeing, I'm already kind of planning it. And I mean, I should probably come to terms. Yeah, 300 for 15, 5-to-1. And again, I don't have to have I could kind of bring the stop a little lower too. I could even use that as support or resistance and try to nestle myself right about there. The safest place to be would be at 84,000. That's why no one can tell you where to put your stop loss, because it depends on what you're doing, how big your position is, and what, you know. I show you how I trade, and there's a lot of times if you put the stop loss where I do, it's mapped out, but it doesn't mean, you know, I don't know what you're doing, and that's why no one should be your financial advisor. I am not a financial advisor, and I never will tell anyone where to put their money or what to do with their money. Not happening here. Okay, I'm a teacher, you're a student. That's the definition of a relationship. Okay, I'm never going to push you into a fund. If someone ever says that, that is not me. I don't do anything like that. I'm an educator. All right, what this channel is about is educating you and helping you. What it's not about is, I don't go over portfolios. I don't, you know, people don't sit there and show me their portfolio. I don't do that. You know, if you want to talk crypto, we can talk crypto here and there because you have no one else to talk to. That's fine. But that's it. Otherwise, I'm going to teach you how to trade. And I'm going to teach you what I did, how I used the charts to buy Bitcoin at the lower prices than everybody else, and how I sat patiently and waited for those prices to, you know, basically, you know, turn into way more money. And it took a lot of patience, a lot of time, a lot of patience and time a lot of people don't have. You know, or everyone has the time, but not everyone has the patience. You know, you can always add value to the moment, but you can't add more time to the moment. That's the one thing that you got to repeat to yourself. So how can you get more value in your time? You got to become more valuable. If you're not making enough money, if you're struggling, quote unquote, struggling in life, then you got to ask yourself, well, what's happening? I'm not getting enough information. I have to continue to learn. You got to work on yourself more than you work on your job. You can go to work, you can grind, you can do all that, but there's got to be days where you're saying, where am I in life? Who do I want to become? What are my big thoughts, dreams, and goals? Do I want to impact the earth before I leave, and how? What are the impacts I want to create? How can I help others from what I've learned? What are the problems I've ran into in my life that I could solve for the next generation? You know, I'll tell you a few right now off the top of my head, but I think they're just too great ideas, so I'm not going to, you know. But I got some ideas in my mind that could help and benefit the future. I believe we all do. And if we all think we're great and can help, then we all are great and can help. But if we all think we're nothing and we can't do anything, then a lot of us will do just that. We'll do nothing and not create anything. So much of what you think of yourself is you. And no matter what you know, if you think about it, if you believe in yourself and you're awesome, you're probably pretty fun to hang out with, right? I'm not saying conceited. I'm just saying you believe in yourself. You love others. You're full of love. You're probably a great... If you hate yourself, if you're upset most of the time, if you blame everyone else for your problems, you're probably not that fun to hang out with. Let's be honest. Like, you're probably a drag. You know what I mean? It's probably very unlikely we're going to have a blast together. Like, it's just not going to happen. So you got to get your mind right to be around people that have their mind right. They're not going to be we can't hang out with that negative energy. That's why people go to the bar, because they know they can sit next to someone that's in that same spot that wants to just sit there and do nothing, like, and they can feel comfortable. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm being honest. You know, no Jim Rohn, no motivation video ever started with telling me to go get a drink at the bar. You know what's funny? Even motivational videos that I talk about manifestation, the other day I put one on, it had nothing to do with alcohol. It was a Neville Goddard manifestation video, and I sat there listening, and next thing you know, he brings up how alcohol has no place in, like, the betterment of the mind. And I was like, look at this. Like, everywhere I go, whenever I'm watching something about mind progression, they also throw a little bit in thing about how alcohol is a detriment to working on oneself. And I totally agree. It really hurt me I was personally subjected to it. Maybe you are too. I don't know. I say this because there might be someone out there struggling, and they may not be like someone who needs NA. They may not even go drink that much. They may just even have a couple drinks with friends here and there, but they may just not understand why they don't really vibe with it, and everyone else seems to keep doing it. If that's you, then you're just like me. And I'm telling you right now, just walk away now is sooner than later. It took me 37 years to finally say, no, 38, 6 years. I'm 42 now, you know? And so all those times, and there are a lot of crazy things happen to me. The closest I've ever been to probably dying a lot of times was due to alcohol-induced behavior. I'm being honest. Facts. Like facts. So ever since I've taken alcohol out of my life, my risk factor has gone down by a mass amount. You know, I should get a lower premium on my health insurance. You know, seriously. Like, I probably do. If they could verify it. I test my blood every week and see that I don't drink alcohol. Anyway, this looks interesting. There's like there's this yearning to pump today for Bitcoin, right? Like it just can't be suppressed anymore no matter what they're doing. Let's take a look at the DXY and see what's happening to the DXY too as well. But I'm fiending to trade live here. Wednesday's one of my favorite days to trade. Tuesday and Wednesday, my two favorite days to live trade. So it would be awesome if we got what we're looking for. Aggressive entry would be now because we don't know. That could make a right. See this shoulder head? You might make a right shoulder and dump. A little bit of bearish div could be occurring too. We got to make sure we can flatten out. A lot of times you'll roll over here and start to dump. Back to the 200 MA. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm telling everyone here. If this fills out, I make the trade, everyone's going to say, wow, he saw it before. He's a genius. I just have a trading style that makes me look like a genius. I have no idea where Bitcoin's going to go. And don't call me a genius when I win. Don't call me a loser when I lose. It's just a data set in my many days of trading. We'll see where this goes. What I am doing is showing you how I actually approach it, how my mind decided to approach it. A lot of people don't approach it this way. You may not approach it this way, but you may learn about my approach and it may teach you something. Hey, if I was learning to paint and I knew nothing about painting, I'd at least watch a painter. Now, I may never have actually do oil painting like him or paint exactly the way that painter paints, but I'm sure I will learn how to hold the brush. I'm sure I will learn about the colors. I'm sure I will learn something by watching that person. So no matter what you're doing, you want to watch someone who does it, period, number one. And, that will help you in the long run. You want to ask yourself, what can I do each day to make myself a little better at trading? That's all. Answer that question and do those things. Say, I don't know my divergences. I'm going to work a little more on div, on my bullish divergences. I'm going to watch a video on it specifically. I'm going to spend a night on it. I'm going to print out my sheet. I'm going to find it myself. I'm just going to make sure that I'm really comfortable with my divergences. I'm going to make sure or you could say today is April 16th. By the end of May, I'm going to make sure I'm locked into my divergences, no matter what. And commit to that, and then say, well, how am I going to lock into it? Well, you say, 1 hour, 3 times a week, I'm going to study divergences. Either watch a video on it, look at it, spend time with it, even learn how to trade it on the small time frames with demos, and write that down and commit to it. Watch the time go by, and then every time you do it, write it down. I did my Wednesday, I did my Monday, whatever the 3 days you pick or whatever, And then by the end of that time, say, where am I? And you'll know divergence is better. You'll be a better trader slowly but surely. And again, then you go to the next thing. You do that. Support and resistance. Do I understand my trend analysis? Now look at this. This is shoulder, head, kind of right shoulder behavior. If that dumps straight down to this 200 MA, you cannot be surprised. See, I'm not telling you I know what's going to happen. Now, if it rips up here and goes sideways, then we have a chance. This is how I don't chase. See, I've learned because I've chased before. And I might be, the old me was on the 1 hour chasing a green. Possibly, right? 1 hour had a nice pump, but now we're seeing some issues, right? And this goes back to this idea. And to some, this is like jumbled up. How does he flip it? He's looking at 3 different things. But your mind will get better. At first, you're going to look at this and it's hard for you to handle. Because it's a lot at once. I'm doing like multiple things at the same time. But as you keep doing this over time, you're going to get better at it. Okay? And it's going to help you. That's all. Whatever you really, really want and desire to do every single day of your life and you push for, you're going to get better at. You're going to get better at this. If you desire to get better at this, you're going to get better. The universe will bend to your desires if they are true. If you say to yourself, you know what, no matter what, I'm going to get this done. JSoul84, I love this channel. I love that I found you on Ben's channel years ago. You have changed me to be a great man of God, of good, a better parent, husband. I love who I am and I am becoming, Sam. And Master Friend, I love you both. God bless you, JSoul. We love you too, man. God bless you. The only 15-minute, the TMA just crossed the, on the 15-minute, the 21 just crossed. Interesting. 21 crossed the 50, not just, a while back, but it crossed the 100 right now. Yeah. I get it. It could be a preemptive golden cross. We are above the 200 MA on the 15-minute time frame. Some signs of a possible bull squeeze, of a short squeeze here. We watch this all the time. We become bull squeeze. We're short squeeze pros. The one thing we're good at is the short squeeze, right? Watching the shorts get wrecked. We've done that here thousands and thousands of times, and they do it around the same time. Sam, do you use certain exchanges between they have better volume? I feel like VMX is dead sometimes. Their volumes today. Thanks, Sam. I use exchanges based on their speed, their readiness, and their server ability, right? MEXC has great server ability. I like MEXC, no problems. The lowest fees of any single exchange in the game, MEXC. Like, you just can't beat MEXC. Like, nothing, you know. Most pairs, too, the fastest liquidity. A lot of times when the pairs are new, too, they'll give you 0 fees to trade it. They're pretty awesome. MEXC is great. Hit the link to MEXC if you want to just have a backup exchange or if it works for you. All right. If you're here on the right place when everyone is fearful and being greedy, when the market is greedy, be cautious. God is in control. I'm thankful for my health and to be blessed today with the lifer. Amen. Thank you. Amen. I love the fact that you're big on Christianity and that you're big and a true believer. Amen. Yeah. I mean, I'm big on God more than anything else. Like, I never, like, you know, I never want to cling to one whole, you know, whatever. I stay away from that. But if you're a believer of the Lord, if you care about others, if you want the best for yourself in the world and you want to live with love, light, and happiness, you don't have any like, well, I'm a little better because I'm this, or I've read the Bible, so I'm better. Like, if you think because you've read the Bible or you're a person of God that someone that hasn't is below you, then you've missed the entire point of the Bible, right? So that's all. And again, I'm not going to speak on it. I don't want to be. I'm not a pastor. All right. I'm a trader, man. Okay. I'm a guy who has vision, and you know, I do open my mouth. I'm outspoken, but I also know when I'm outgunned in a loquacious situation, you know, or when I'm talking about something that I know nothing about. The more I dabble in technical analysis every single day, the less I know about anything. Like, people want to talk politics with me, and I'm you know what I say to them? I said, you know what? I spend too much time in the charts really to be having any type of discourse with you at this point. And they look at me like, and I said, I'd rather just like have fun. Like, I don't have it in me. I obviously have some opinions, but you know, not everybody has to know them. You see what I'm saying? I know the move I'm going to make at the time that I need to make it. That's all that matters to me, based on my instincts and in the data that handed to me, right? So we may be able to make a live trade here. There's a chance we could consolidate for the money. There's a chance. So you're telling me there's a chance over here? Do we go big boy style, 300? And again, does anybody care if I went 4,000 for 18 and I lost $4,000? Would anybody even care? Some people might snicker at me, but would it matter if I went 100 for 200? You know, see, if I went 11 for 40, people would say, well, he has a big set of cojones, right? That's like a double bottom right there. If you ask me, looks like it's about to rip. I'm late to the tilly. Man, I was about to just press the button. That's why I like Bitunix too. You can just, but you got to be careful. See, I'm having bigger amounts today, so I don't want to chase, man. Dang, no, that's a double bottom about to rip. I had just placed it there. Again, I got to stream and show the trade as I do the trade. If I was, you know, but hopefully, do you have the 99%? No. Yeah. To have what the 99% don't, do what they won't, prepare, fund up, step up ready. Tell me of the stories of trading when the markets are on fire. Amen. That's big money. I'd care for you. Yeah. FEMEX has a bit more of a narrow triangle. Yeah. I don't know. It's a sketchy day. I'm gonna stay on that 5-minute time frame, and I'm gonna just stay on the 5-minute. I'm gonna stay away from the 1 minute. What I like about having all these charts is like I'll just completely erase everything, and because I need to constantly reset the way my mind's looking at it. Clean slate. Like a clean slate helps me see it again. I gotta have a clean slate. So looking for something like here, 85,700 for Bitcoin possibly. And get some lemon water in there. Sorry, haven't been as consistent with the lemon water. Get that Labradorite, hold it tight. But wow, so still holding. And again, had I made that trade, unbelievable. I'd be in the game still. Unbelievable. It's insane how you never, I would have called the exact bottom for myself there on the smaller time frame and just absolutely annihilated it. Get over it. I will. I will. And again, don't let those trades call your name and then do the wrong thing because you can't handle that either. That's why FOMO just isn't good in any situation about anything. It's the fear. It has fear involved. So that means whenever you say I woulda, coulda, shoulda, ask yourself, what does that mean? Well, it means that you were like, dang. And then there's fear involved. When you wish you could have done something, you got to get rid of fear. So you got to say, is what I just said stemmed in love, gratitude, or is it stemmed in fear? Are you doing something negative? If you're doing something negative, it's usually due to fear or anger. It's weird. Or anger usually comes from fear. Why does a guy, some people yell at their spouse or they accuse their spouse of cheating or something? Because they're in fear. So they bug out on someone when nothing really is the big deal. Like they just went, like they got home late because the train, like you were doing something. When people are in fear, they accuse a lot. They get caught a lot. They get paranoid a lot, right? So whenever you're in a state of paranoia, ask yourself, where is this emotion coming from? Where's this thought coming from? And say it's coming from an emotion. Where's the emotion coming from? It's coming from an overplayed thought. So an overplayed thought will create an emotion. An emotion will create another thought. Those thoughts will spin into emotions. You'll sit inside of a track. And you'll start just spinning your mind. You'll do it over trades, you'll do it over losses, and you'll be stuck in your brain. This can create a perpetual loop that you can't leave. How do you break it? You got to ask yourself, why am I thinking a certain thing and what emotion is it connected to? We know we want to be in a state of love and gratitude for like 90% of the day. Because we know if we do that, we're going to project love and, it's going to project. That's how the next day is going to be better. We create tomorrow by being good today. Our behaviors today create what happens tomorrow. Amen? Who we are today is exactly the behaviors we make today. We make horrible behaviors for the next few weeks. So like if you live in a 4-week month and you make horrible decisions for 3 weeks, how good do you think that last week of the month's going to be? Probably going to be pretty bad. You're probably going to worry about paying the rent because you don't have it. You're probably going to owe somebody money. There's probably going to be, But if you live a great 3 weeks and just really prepare yourself, work out, do the right thing, go to your job on time or run your business on time or do whatever you got to do on point, then the last week of the month's going to be pretty sweet, isn't it? You're going to be like, well, I got my money for next month paid. It's already set up. I got a plan to go here for the weekend. So who do you want to be? You want to be someone struggling? And anyone who says, is anyone struggling right now? Right now, put your hand up. Are you struggling in life? Are you struggling? Put a 222 in the comment section if you were struggling. All right, just write 222. I'm going to teach you something right now that's going to blow your mind. All right? It's going to blow your mind. Well, put a 222 if you're struggling. So look, we're looking for this to continue. This flag's still on tap here. Hey, here's the thing. Price could do whatever it wants. What if it just rips and it doesn't do this? All right, so a bunch of people are struggling, right? Let me tell you something right now. You're going to continue to struggle until you stop using that word and agreeing with anybody that tells you you're struggling. All right? Right now, you're going to ask me, am I struggling? No. Why? Because if I believe that, I would be. Understand? Ask me right now, Sam, are you struggling? I struggle sometimes. It's not always perfect. Am I overall struggling? No. I am making it. And so what you have to tell yourself is, now I'm going to ask all you people that wrote 22, are you making it? All the people that wrote 222, put a 222 and a 3 next to it now if you're making it. Are you making, are you becoming better every day? Are you on your way to making it? Put a 222 with a 3 at the end. Right? So what I'm trying to tell you is if you believe you're struggling, okay, and this is going to hurt a lot of people's feelings. Sometimes people tune off from this. I don't know why, because it's the answer to your problems. You're getting the answer to your problems right now. Like all of your problems are being answered right now, even if you don't realize it. Okay? Look, those alerts are going off for Bitcoin. Let's take a look. And you can see, wow, that flag ended up hitting the first alert. This thing started pumping before it even, you know. Price action is funky today, man. And again, what you'll do is you'll end up buying these candles and then eventually it'll dump. And so you gotta wait for the model or you can't touch it. And if it keeps ripping and it goes all the way upside, that's fine. That's 1 out of 300 days a year. And so for the rest of your life, here's the deal. Make finite ideas of what's happening around you. And what does that mean? Well, if I didn't have a finite idea of what's happening around me, meaning I didn't like place it in time and space and say, well, compared to everything else, is this a big deal? A finite idea. Like you take the idea away from where you're in and put it in a little box. So like, here's what I'm saying. And I'm bugging you out, but here's my little diary, right? But like right now, the FOMO in me wants to chase that candle. I really do. I want to. I have a feeling they're going to pump it, and I'm going to miss out, and everyone's going to say, Sam missed out today. All right? Now, I stream 1,600 days, right? If I miss this trade today, and then I get it in my head for the rest of the day that I missed the trade, I overthink, I think about it till tonight, I get into my head tomorrow, does that do anything for my students, for this channel, for any of us? No. And does it really matter if I miss 84,006, like, you know, it's at 84,008 and it pumps to 85.9? Of my 1,000 times streaming, my 1,000 days, like, will I remember you think I'll remember today? Like specifically when I missed Bitcoin by 800 bucks? No, like, so, but the thing is, traders, is we get really crazy at the moment and it becomes everything. And we're like, I get it. It happens to me. It's insane. I step back and I'm like, dude, it was just a 7-minute time frame, man. Like, my goodness. And I'm always constantly resetting. And I've learned now that trading is resetting that mindset constantly. That's what trading is. And having discipline over that beast inside. There's a beast inside us all. You know, I was reading these quotes the other day. They said that everybody is the moon. There's a dark side to everybody that nobody sees. Everybody has a dark side like the moon that nobody sees. I don't care who you are. You have a dark side. You do. I'm sorry. Once you admit that, you can be a light worker, but we all have a dark side, man. It's like there's something in us that lets us know that we could be pulled into the dark if we let it happen. That's really what it means. You know, it doesn't mean you live in the dark, but you know, there's things we are not proud of. There's things we've done that we've learned from. You know, hopefully we live in the light side now, but I'm just being honest, right? Let's be honest. Your dark side may be your greedy trading. Some people are losing tons of money behind their wife's back and they don't tell her. And then they got to come out and say, listen, I've been leverage trading and I've lost everything. I lost $8,000 of our $16,000 savings that we were having to move out for that place we had just talked about, you know, but I messed it up. This is the old crypto story. The guy that has the money and loses it all behind his girl's back. And then she thinks crypto stinks. It's happened a lot. We've heard it a lot. You know what I mean? I've heard it many, many times. Not saying it happens to everybody, but I've heard it many times. So how do we survive in these times when we're, you know, we have to stick to models. When we know that we're, you know, all over the place, we have to stick to models. We have to be disciplined. You know, say you have access to $100,000 like me, but you don't know how to trade. You can't just throw $100,000 in there. You have to demo trade for a month or two before you can even access your own money. You see, but most people don't do that. They lose the 5 to 6 to 7, 8, 10 grand of the $100,000 first, saying it was learning, but you didn't have to do that. There was no reason. And again, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I'm saying you should be taken as such. I'm just telling you how I would go about a process of trading. I would use fake money to understand it first. Like I would be doing these things, these setups here on the demo, waiting for price action to, you know, seeing if this is actually going to happen or not. What's crazy is today feels like there's something unruly going to happen. Like we're just going to rip. When that happens, it usually means a bigger time frame is broken the 200 MA. And I did see the 15-minute above the 200. You see? But it's gapping from the 21 again. Like they can't. Very similar to here. We may gap up, but we're going to have to come back and play with that 21 again. You know, it's an unrealistic fill that you're going to continue there. Again, I didn't chase the green candles. It's been a nice pump back to the upside. It's been trickery and treachery the last couple days. Even this morning, I was like, eh. But again, right there was the play. There's my model right there, though, on the 1 minute. The flag, there's just so special. Wait all day, take that one trade. That trade's still in the money. You see it? That's my baby right there. My sweetheart. 1 minute breaks out. It flags back to the 21 above the 200 with low stochastics. I can't tell you how many times that can play out. That has played out for me in overtime. So the waiting game plays out now, and we just sit and wait, and it may take its time. We don't know exactly what it's going to do, but it's the closer the 21 gets, the better. This idea, this model starts to play out. And like, I love 85,000. Every time I'm in the money on those big Bitcoin buys, I'm excited. I threw down publicly and said 84 is basically going to be the lows. You know, 76, 84, whatever. That area is the lows. The lows are never defined by an exact numbered area. You know, there's kind of a band. And if I end up becoming a legend at that buy and we rip to like 160, 130K, it's going to be amazing. A lot of people will come back to the channel and be like, man, that was the dude. He bought that, he threw it down when everyone else was in. Wow, they're just ripping this thing uncontrollably on the smaller time frames. They're making me want to chase, and I just can't chase. I don't do that. I just can't do that. But there's some FOMO in the air for sure. And there's people that are chasing right now, and then they're going to get wrecked. Yep. You can't buy green candle pumps. You got to buy consolidation near the 21. Even if it rips to 85.9, I told you, who cares? Well, I remembered in 1,000 years, in 1,000 days, no. So, but I love seeing $85,000 for Bitcoin. 2,065 people here on the live. Thank you. 642 likes. May God bless everybody for being here. And as this continues to push up, I just kind of adjust a little bit. I just adjust the channel. Wow, but that's like parabolic. Bitcoin just ripping the shorts now the other way. They're just doing whatever they want. I'm just happy I'm not short here, getting my butt handed to me, because I would never short a break above the 200 and the 5 minute time frame. That would be a bad look. I was about to long that with the biggest long I've ever had in my life, and oh man, I'd still be long right now with that trade would be cooking. You guys would be looking at me like, this guy is up like 50 racks right now. Oh my gosh. It's gonna haunt me, man, but whatever. I gotta let it go. I need my mind for the rest of the day. And then it just continues to rip too. Of course it does, right? Of course. It just, like, I'm not gonna jump in a green candle. I'm just not gonna do that. I'm sorry. I can't do that. As bad as I want to live trade for you guys right now and girls, I can't do that. I'm not gonna jump into a green candle. I want to so bad. I cannot do it. I will have to readjust my trade and start to kind of, reassess what's happening for sure. But it's got to eventually hang out. Like, it's unsustainable. Eventually, soon too, the 1 minute's going to get, the 1 minute looks like it could cook. I'm sticking to the 5, and then it's that 15 minute cross the 200 minute, right when the 15 minute go, boom. Getting very far for the 21. Unsustainable. Even if it pumps to 86,000, like, I'll wait for it to, I'll wait patiently for the best setup. It might take till tonight at 8 p.m. or something. Wednesday nights are great nights to trade. I like Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday nights. I missed last night. I was at AI Doge long, huge, but didn't leave it overnight. I would have tripled up at least. Yeah. Yeah. Owning it is a long 1x, so you're good. Yes, exactly. I 1x longed it 100%. I put my money, and I 1x longed it for like 100 and some odd grand too. So like, some dudes may be 10x leverage right now at 10 times. They may have 10 grand at 10x leverage, and they're showing you their trade, and you can see their leverage trade, and they're like, I got a spot trade bigger than, the same size or bigger. And I could lose way more technically, because they could only lose 10 grand. I put way, Wow, Bitcoin just absolutely ripping out of control. 15-minute candle just taking names and kicking butt. The 4-hour doing what we said, likely moving back to the top of the channel. And it bounced off the 200 MA and went all the way back to the top of the channel. And we were looking at this too. I just wanted a better entry. I guess the 1 minute was the only way we were getting back in. And if you came to the channel today, we talked about this, broadening wedge here thing, and that it was bouncing. It got above the 200 MA, and then it should make its way back to the top of the channel. Like that's just pattern trading 101. Shoulder, head, right shoulder, big move back to the top. You know what I mean? That's what we're looking for now. So massive move for Bitcoin to the upside. Massive move. Bitcoin puts Bitcoin back in action here. I remember the trade on weeks is still open. If you want to trade on weeks, we have a link there. And what I did is I just put 2 stop losses below these wicks. And it said if the 4-hour holds and we pump huge, I'm going to win this trade. And I sat in it from here. They almost got me out, sideways, and I just kept the trade open. We are still in this week's trade. I don't know, you could have went 300. I don't know what you did. 300 for 900, 200 for 600, 100 for 300, 10,000 for 30,000. I don't know what you did. I'm not your financial advisor, but I am showing you that I'm in a trade that's still good right now, regardless of what happened. The stop loss is still good. The 4-hour can move, man. And what if this 4-hour just takes off? Double bottoms here and just absolutely rips. It could happen. Anything is possible. You have to be open-minded. The key is to use probabilities that make sense. Above a 200 MA gives you a good probability of winning. It's very simple. You do what makes you happy. I couldn't force it on you, right? So there you go. And that's weeks. I love trading on weeks. You can move your stop loss, swing it up and down. They have decent fees as well compared to the rest of the market. They have great customer service. They're awesome to the lifers. They've been great to anyone, any issue, anything that's been happened. They've been really good about it. Everybody that's reached out has gotten, beautiful customer service. So shout out to Weeks for always being there for the lifers. We appreciate that. It's really awesome. It's just really good to see an exchange actually take that time and make sure that they're putting people first, man. So finally, some type of pullback on the 5-minute time frame, right? A realistic move now. Again, someone just chased that green candle because they couldn't handle their FOMO, and now they're down huge. Someone just tried to make 1,000 for 5,000 or something. They're down $500 right now. There's rookies that don't even have that much money that are losing more money than I would ever dream of a day. Isn't that crazy? They have less money than you. There's someone out there with way less money than you, and they're losing more money than you every day. And they have less than you, but they're losing more money than you because they have no control over their emotions and they have no proper risk management at all. At all. At all, I say, at all. So again, now I want the stochastics to reset. Look at the little cat ears here on the stochastics. Ears, head, ears, right? And again, this may just continue to dump and go to who knows. But if it can consolidate, then we're ready to rock. You see how this works? It's like I'm catching a fish. I keep throwing out my net to catch the fish. If I do this over and over again, I'm going to catch a fish. This is relentless. I am relentless with this behavior. Once the market's so frothy and volume set, this prints money like, oh my gosh. Like when there's a lot of money in the market, so many of these flags, more flags play out, more flags are made because more people are consolidating, more people are buying. So every time price action gets a pump, it's less likely you get moved back down to previous behavior, right? So you just so you get more flags, you get more. So these strategies play out even more. So that's why the bull period is awesome because it really, really spikes the percentages. And that's why I save capital for when the market's so frothy that the odds of you winning are even better. Like, again, you know what I mean? So you could DCA all you want, throw all your money into the market and hope that you're buying the bottoms all the time. And I do that for Bitcoin and Bitcoin only, maybe some Solana, say. Bitcoin, Solana, SEI, say, and SWI. Really. A little bit of Render and Ondo. Those are the only coins I would be buying on the bottoms right now. I wouldn't be getting into memes. I wouldn't be doing anything high risk at all right now. Eventually, my risk tolerance will go up. You will see me eventually trade a meme here and there. You will see me go over some things that I will speculate. I might be up big on something, and I'll take a small percentage of that, and I'll speculate. Okay? That can and will happen. But not until the market is so frothy that it gives me a higher probability of winning. You get what I'm saying? And I'm okay with being somewhat late to the party as long as there's more food at the table. Understand? I don't want to be one of the first people sitting there waiting for the appetizers. I want to see the main core. I want to see it all laid out when I sit down and get ready to eat. And then I want to leave early. I don't even need dessert, you know. But that's kind of how trading is for me personally. So this trade would make sense. It would be 180 for $500. Like, this trade would make sense to me. And I like it. You could act like you're in the trade right now. What if I got in the trade right now? You can see the numbers. What would happen? You can kind of see it move around. But 84,885, right? Let's make a bull flag here. Now, what's the bearish tones? That this is a shoulder ahead. I've just seen this many times. It becomes a rising wedge right shoulder. There's some divergence, and then you dump back to the 200 MA and you go from there. If you lose that, then you go down more, and then you start, you know, you go on the rabbit hole of the bearish, and you start adding all the bearish ideas. Until then, we don't have to do that, right? Let's just see if we can flag out and make this beautiful next move. Not chasing wasn't easy as those candles rip, but you got to be able to have control over your emotions. Who here chased anyway, no matter what? Who here did not chase? Anybody chase? Anybody? Did anybody just chase right now and get themselves caught up when there was no need to? Yeah, you don't want to be doing that. Okay. All right, Bitcoin USDT here on Bitunix. I'm waiting for this to get toy like a toiga. And thank you, Sean. God bless you, man. So let me show you here what they're doing on Bitunix for the lifers. They're just nice to me. They like me. They know I'm out there, you know, every day. So trading volume of 100 million, then we'll have a $9,000 prize pool. If we get up to $1 billion in trading volume, we'll have a $90,000 prize pool. So the prize pool will go higher the more we trade. All right. But pretty much we'll probably get $9 grand because we get pretty good volume, right? So, and you look here too, like Bitunix, you know, and this basically they'll track us on the volume that you trade, and people with the most volume will get the most. You see what I'm saying? First place, second place, right? And we have an iPhone, we have a PS5, an Apple Watch, a Sol, and down to 30 XRP. All right, so and someone's gonna win. Like in my trading, whoever uses the link, so it's going to somebody. So it's up to you. If you're trading, you're good at trading, then hey, use that because you'll get more than your wins on top of what you already won. If you're horrible at trading, you don't think it's gonna work, then hey, leave it alone. It's up to you. If you've demo traded for years and you're confident in what you do, you got a trading style, jump on in. I appreciate it. If you learn from me and you love your trading and you want to get back, jump on in, use the link. Whatever makes you happy, it's there. It's just an add-on if you're already doing it. If not, leave it alone. I never want to be the pusher man. I want to let you know that for 8 years of my life, I never traded leverage. I just, you know, dollar cost average into Bitcoin. I was a swing trader on the stock market. I traded the Toronto Stock Exchange, the New York Stock Exchange, JNUG, JDST, gold, right? Great Panther Limited. I was on Hecla Mining. You know, also I looked at AMD was one of the first stocks I ever looked at when it was like $5. So yeah, I'm looking for, you know, basically Bitcoin to make some type of beautiful flag here in the 5 minute. Looks like it's going to take some time. This is actually the 1 minute time frame. Well, I'm watching between the 1 and the 5. I kind of go a tandem between them both because they give me good information. Especially on bullish days when things are kind of setting up, they give me great information. So we got above that other level there. Now the aggressive entry is just now because that could be the bottom of the flag, but you're not guaranteed a consolidation. I've done that a few times and it has played out, but there's a few times where it hasn't. We've made the right shoulder, we've slumped down. And then I realized, like, why did I do that? Because I could have waited for better information. So I've made all these different decisions, and every day I even fine tune it. Some days I'm like, I could have waited a little longer for this confirmation. And it can get pretty heady, but it can help out if you know exactly, if you have a really good plan and you're just tweaking it slightly, it can help out. If you don't have a plan, you can't tweak it slightly either. The great thing about a plan, you know, like I remember reading in a mentor book and he said, if your boat's going somewhere, then you can at least tweak the direction you're going. But if you're not moving at all, then you can't tweak any direction. So you got to get moving, he says. Like I showed up today, did the live stream, you know, you got to get moving. You got to get moving, you know, and it's not easy. It's not easy to show up in front of thousands of people every day. It's not easy to keep going, but you got to do it. If I can do it, you can do it. If I can do it every single day without a day off and put myself out there, then you can. You know how many people get to never show their face today? They could be depressed, sad, stay in bed all day, call out the day or just go with their friends, go to a park. No one has to see them. I'll be looked at 365 days a year. I don't mind that. I did it to myself. It is what it is. That's fine. I'm not complaining. I'm loving it. I'm just saying you have a choice, right? And the more you move, the more you're going to learn. The more you learn, the more you're going to know. The more you know, the more knowledge you're going to have. The more knowledge you have, the better decisions you're going to make. So in conjunction, the more actions you take towards your goals, right, the more you're going to know. And the more you're going to learn. And the more other people, you're going to be a resource to others too. You want to become resourceful. I don't mind being useful. I don't mind being a tool for others. You know what I mean? I'd rather be useful than just your friend. Friends are cool, but what about a useful person? What about someone that can actually be utilized by the people around them? I love friendship and I love connection. And don't get me wrong, there's genuine connections in my life. But I used to have only good, genuine connections. I didn't really help a lot of people. Now I'm more useful. You see what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to provide a service for others and be a useful individual. Being useful helps others. If we're all useful too, if we all lived in like a little community and we were all useful together, it would change, you know what I mean? It would benefit the community. The community would have a better, faster way to progress. So become useful. And how do you become useful? By adding value to your life every single day. How do you add value to your life? Put pressure on yourself to learn. Say, hey, when I go on YouTube today, I'm going to watch a video about bettering myself, about discipline, maybe about, I don't work out too well. I'm going to find someone that's good at working out. I'm going to watch a couple, and say I'm going to watch 2 times speed. I'm not going to do more than 15 minutes. Time yourself and give yourself a directive. I use YouTube for information, what you got to get done, get in, get out. Don't sit there. Don't get caught in the rabbit hole. Get in, get out. You use Grok. Use Grok. Don't sit on Twitter for 10, 20 minutes later on, flipping through those TikTok things. They get me every once in a while. And then I say, I got to get out. I don't have time. I can't be doing this. My phone is not to distract me. It's to help me. Once the phone is distracting, it's not helpful. We have to only utilize things that are there to help us and serve us. If they're not serving us, we must extrapolate them from our reality. If the phone is not serving you, you got to get rid of it for the time being. Put a lock on it, get it out of the room. Tell your significant other that you have a problem and they need to take your phone from you. My wife, man, I used to work and then I'd be home and I'd be working and I would slack off sometimes. I wouldn't do what I needed to do. And I had to have my wife. I mean, it's so sad, but I was like, my wife, I was like, take my phone from me. Right? Whatever I needed, to get myself motivated. Now I don't need that. I'm my own man. Like, I rock and roll, but I wasn't always as self-sufficient as I am now. Not in every way, no. And you won't be either. It's a process of cultivation. Come on, man. Make a flag, baby. So we got some time here. But the curvature of the 21, everything going well. So beautiful pump off the 200 MA there for Bitcoin. Double bottom W for the win. And there could be another trade brewing here that I'm sitting pretty on, waiting to take. Just kind of watching it. Again, we could easily just make that right shoulder and dump. We could dump from here. We had a nice pump. I don't know what's going to happen to price action. I don't. I did speculate that if we got above the 200 MA in the 4 hour, that we would go back to the top of the channel. Does that mean I knew it was going to happen? No, but that's likely because I've seen this stuff many times. I know it's likely. I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know what's most likely. It doesn't mean I'm right every time. I'm wrong. I could be, there's a couple, It's not easy. So we're going to ask this again. We're going to ask the same question to the same people that we asked at the beginning of the stream. Is anybody here struggling? Put a 222 if you're struggling. This time, there should be nobody putting a 222 up. You see what I mean? Because you've now decided that you're not struggling anymore. The second you decide you're not struggling, you're not. Don't you understand? Here's a guy, right? I'm going to give you a perfect example. And I know you people are angry. Some people are like, this is not cool. It's not how you talk to people. But here's a guy. There's a guy who's very overweight. All right. He's got a big belly. All right. These are his legs. That's his belly. All right. That's his arm. It's a horrible arm. I'm the worst. Anyway, he's very overweight. He's struggling, he says, to keep the weight off. I'm struggling to keep the weight off, he tells himself. So, of course, he's going to be struggling to keep the weight off. He believes his mind's so weak that he can't stop going to the McDonald's, eating the Edmonds, whatever he's doing to eat to look like this. He claims, and I hear people say this, I'm struggling to keep the weight off. Oh, yeah, my husband, he's been struggling to keep the weight off. It's been tough for him, right? So what you're telling yourself is, I am weak-minded. I'm going to allow myself to tell myself that I'm weak-minded. And then I'm going to tell myself that I'm struggling, so that's the reality I'll create. And of course I'll continue to struggle, because hey, a guy's up to bat. He's not doing well. He's struck out the last few weeks, right? He tells himself he's struggling every night. You think he's going to get out of the batting rut that he's in? No. But what if he tells himself, you know what? I'm going to reset. I'm going to discipline. I'm going to get a night's sleep. I can. I will. I am the best. He watches a self-help video about why his mind is the strongest. He watches Sam Price today, and the guy says, man, it's about your mind, dude. And he's like, you know, he's right. I got to get my mind right. You know, he works out. He clears his mind. He removes negative energy and people from his life. A week later, he's like, I'm not struggling. I'm on my way to getting better. 2 weeks later, he is a little bit better. 4 weeks later, 2-3 months from there, he was like, damn, I can't believe I used to tell people I was struggling. You are the reason you're struggling. When you say you're struggling, quit drawing me, somebody said. Sorry, I was a little too loud for the ears. Please forgive me. I always mess up, man. Dang it. I'm sorry there. But so if you tell yourself you're struggling in trading, then you will be a struggling trader. If you tell yourself you're struggling in weight loss, then you will not get good at weight loss. If you tell you're struggling at going to the gym, then you will not go to the gym. If you tell yourself you're struggling, then you are going to be struggling at anything you're doing. See, once you realize that you're in control of your mind, you will never tell yourself you're struggling again for the rest of your life, because you can't. How could you? You can, every once in a while, you can fall into it. Fine. You can say I'm struggling like for a moment or two, but you got to slap yourself right out of that and tell yourself, what the heck was I thinking? That was horrible mindset mentality. I can't think like that. We're not perfect. We're going to fall back every once in a while too, even me. But for the most part, I'm like, man, no. I'm not struggling. I'm going to make it happen. If things are hard and there are environmental pressures on me, I'm going to get tougher. I'm going to find a way to get around it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to struggle. I'm going to let this get hard. You know, again, you go to the gym. Is that struggling when the weight gets hard? You're pushing against resistance. And over time, that makes you stronger. That's how you gain strength. So we can't live in a state of comfort. People are struggling because they want to be comfortable. Because it's comfortable to keep eating what you want to eat. It's comfortable to keep losing the trades you want to lose. It's comfortable not to put in the work. So you'll continue to struggle because struggling is comfortable for you, because that's the repetition you've been in for the last few years, right? The people that aren't making it, the people that are struggling, there was a bunch of people in here that said they were struggling. So you, right? Think about it. So until you decide that you're the reason you're struggling, you will never not be the reason you're not struggling. Wow. If that didn't hit you so hard in your soul, and I'm the same as you, man. I'm the reason I'm struggling or not struggling. There's no difference between anybody in life, in any walk of life, in any place. I don't care if someone's a meter maid or a school teacher. I don't care if they're a super lawyer or a secretary, right? They're all in a state of either not struggling or struggling. And it's almost not like a gray area, because once you're in the middle, you're basically struggling again. You got to be progressing. So either you're pushing yourself forward and telling yourself that you can, you will, you are the best, or you're going backwards. There's no in between here. And so we've got to be hard on ourselves about this. And this is why you lose friends when you start to gain momentum. I'm sorry, but you will. Because there's going to be a lot of people that do not want to keep up with the way you're moving. And when you start to really gain momentum, you're going to roll, baby. It doesn't mean you can't go back and say hi to those people once in a while. But you're not going to be next to them like you used to be. They're not going to be side by side with you. They're not going to be able to roll with you. It's just not going to happen, because your frequency is going to change. You are going to be on another level. You're going to attract different situations and people into your life now. And the old people in the old situations are not going to fulfill that vibrational frequency that you are now on. So it's going to be impossible for the old people in your life to be there if you change frequency. Understand? It's like changing a radio station. You cannot hear that other radio station anymore. And radio stations are very tinily tweaked, right? You can move that dial by a half. We got to dial you in. We got to dial you in. A lot of you are getting dialed in here on this channel. This channel is about dialing in. We got to get your mind right. Look, I talked a lot during this channel. There was TA I could have talked about, right? But this is mindset, man, because if you don't get the right mindset, no matter how much technical analysis I teach you, I cannot help you become a multimillionaire. I can't guide you towards the light. If you don't believe the light's there, then how can I send it to you? How can I give, if you don't believe it's there, then how can we see it together? So the first thing I got to get you to do is believe in yourself. Before I even begin to teach you technical analysis, really, I got to get you to believe in yourself. And believe that you have the ability that I have to become amazing. That you can do everything that I've done with my life times 10. I waited till I was 37. Hopefully some of you are younger than me. Some of you are older. I get it. But we're all in it together. That's what matters, no matter our age. But so here we are, man. And I have to sit here. Look, that's been 25 minutes of just nothingness. Now, yes, you could have been on the 1 minute or the 30 minute and been all over the place in these, but I'm all set with that. To me, that's, I'm going for a real win. No more being comfortable. No more being comfortable with struggling. 100%. Average people don't like to be stressed. However, successful people know how to manage stress. And the world has saturated you. It's not easy. I go through a lot of stress, everybody, but it's manageable stress, and which I have to manage. I deal with stress every single day at a mass level. At a level most people probably couldn't handle. I was talking to it today with someone. I said, man, I don't think I know people that they know my life. And I was talking to one of my good friends the other day. And he said to me, I don't know how you do it with the live streaming schedule and the way he said, I couldn't do that. And in my mind, I was like, you would, man. If you built something like me, you would. But he just hasn't built something like this yet. But if you built something the way I built it, God gave you what I was given, you would never take a day off either, baby. If God gave you what God gave me, the ability to be free, the ability to do what I love every single day, the ability to love others and spread love, light, and positivity throughout the world while I teach how to trade, if God gave me that ability, then man, I am blessed. I must show up every day with a blessed heart. Because that's how I prove to God that I have gratitude through action. My dad always said that, Sam, you could tell me you love me all you want, but when I buy you a new shirt and you fold it nicely and neat and don't throw it on the floor, that's how I know you care. He said, when you call that you're going to be late, but you call and then you make your best to be home and not just show up whenever, or when you're actually on time and you don't call to be late, that's when I know you care. He used to say action he said, love is an action word, Sam. He said, don't tell me you love me and do the wrong thing. He said, that ain't going to do a dang thing. He's like, I'd rather you say not a word and do the right thing. That was the way my dad spoke to me, and I'm happy he did. He's in me right now. He's alive on the stream right now. He spoke to us all just now because he said those words to me verbatim, exactly as I say them to you. So if you didn't have a father out there, if you were missing that, I can give you some of what my dad gave me, right? To the young men out there that are lost, to the young men out there that can't seem to find their way, I hope I can provide a state of foundational, masculinity for you so you can find your way in life. Because, I also needed that in many ways. This is looking interesting to me. I may take this trade here. It's low stochastic. It's been very bullish. 178 for 520. It is Wednesday. My one thing is it could make a right shoulder and dump on me. Let me just zoom out for a split second and see what's happening. But so far, so good. We're making a bull flag. This is what you want to see. You want to see a bit of a bull flag like this here for Bitcoin. And may God bless my mom and dad, Daisy and Finn, Irene and Jim. I love my parents. They were great parents. They are both passed. They both died unexpectedly. In the last under 2 years. The anniversary of my dad's passing will come in 2 weeks. I'm okay. God was there for me. You guys were there for me. The community was there for me. Thank you so much for everyone that supported me and continues to do so no matter what. You people are amazing. And may God bless you all. And thank you for every single bit of minutes that you spend with me. Your time is so gracious. We all only have so much time on this earth. I know it because I lost my mom so early. So, You know, cherish your moments. We talked about that at the beginning of the stream. And I'm done. I'm not going there. I'm not going there. I'm not going there. I got some lemon in my eyes. Oh my gosh. I squeezed this lemon and oh, I got a little bit of lemon in my eye here. That's all that happened there. Who, me? No. Never that. Never that. I'm Stone Cold Steve Austin over here. Hey, God bless everybody, man. Amen. Shout out to Moses Alexander Cruz. Shout out to everybody here. Tough and focused, amen. And the bot's out the long now. The bot said, I got in and I got out. So remember, my bot's always trucking. And if you want to jump on into the bot, I do got a link for the bot here that I could pin. It's actually an algorithmic trading system. And you can just learn more, right? All you'll do there is just book a call and learn more. So if you saw that little thing that just exited the trade right there, it's getting in and out. It's using a substantial amount of money for me. It's doing its thing. And yeah, so things are going, well. But here you can go here to Minotaur, all right? Right here, systems.io, and check it out. Schedule a free call today to find out more why I'm using this bot, what's happening, and what's going down, all right? If this gets you excited, if this is something that you're looking at, hey, or if you said, hey, I got some extra that I would like to keep on the side to do its thing while I also learn how to trade, bang, 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 right? Okay, let's get back to Bitcoin. And again, this thing looks vicious here. Like, low stochastic back to the 21. That could be the golden entry here. It's a very aggressive entry. We're above that 15-minute. And again, like, we could even wait for the 15-minute to do its thing. That might be the smartest, wait for the 21 to cross, the 15-minute to go sideways. So the 50-minute cross back above the 200 MA, then you wait for a flag, bang, execution. So if I can't, if I feel FOMO, I'll use the 5. If I get a little more patience, I could wait. The chance to bounce off the 21 is the number here, though, and even if we consolidate, you don't get a better price than that. Still a chance of a right shoulder there. I've seen the shoulder head. I've seen these slanted right shoulders before, and they play out. Shout out to So Salty. We love you. Let's look at TRX and Cardano on the super chats. And shout out to anyone that sent the super chat my way. God bless you. Let's take a look at what's happening here on the fan funding. So we have Great Morning Sam. Thoughts on ADA. Great TAs, the class group separate. We talked about the Hey Lifer. I caught her myself going through the old DeFi pancake videos from back in the day when I first met you. Good times. Can you check out TRX? Oh yeah, don't save her, man. I love you, brother. God bless you. To have what the 99 don't, do what they won't. Prepare, fund up, set up, get ready. Tell me of the stories of trading when the market's on fire. Man, bro, October I got stopped out. Then we ripped to 109 without me. Still hurts. Love you, bro. God bless you, man. Hey, right? Hey, funny. How far is too far for the 21-day moving average? Thank you for saying that. God bless you, master friend. It takes a big man to admit that. I appreciate you. So salty. God bless you. God bless Mike Reinhardt, R. Sanders. You're the man. God bless you, friend. And God bless everybody that gave here. I appreciate that. And we got TRX and Cardano. So let's take a look at these fan funding super chats. All right. TRX was actually like a lot more bullish than the last few coins. Last time I saw, look, I have it drawn like this with the bully bands, but I have it in this kind of flag suggesting that it's going to break up. And I must have drawn this somewhere back March 17th. Been sideways ever since. Really wouldn't have lost you any money. It meandered between 21 and 25 for like basically a month. straight month straight. And that shows consolidation. That's a bull. Tight moving averages, 200-day moving average. I suggest it goes to 42 cents. It may take its time. I don't know when. One step at a time, one moment at a time. But yeah, I mean, it's starting to descend. It's got, if it breaks up and retest 26, you're even more golden. Yeah, let me actually make it 26.77. I mean, it breaks above that level. Actually, I want to be like really precise with that. I guess it would be fair to just call it 27, 26.99, 26.8. But you want to see that bullish retest. Look, shoulder, head, right shoulder. I know it's hard to see, but again, you'll eventually get good at seeing this type of stuff. Even kind of had double right shoulders, double left shoulders, complex inverted, breaking out. Said it's going to 26.84. Then there's going to be a resistance, might make a flag there, break out, retest, break out. These would be key areas to jump in on, retest areas, 21-day moving averages and retests. But TRX looks bullish to me compared to the rest of the market after that long consolidation. Everything else was still dumping down. This just halted and decided to go sideways for a while. That's bullish when the whole market is bearish. Right? When the whole market goes down to lows and you don't, you got to consider that a pretty bullish sign. Cardano, to me, is screaming buy right here. Why? Well, it's a Sammy cup and handy. It's a Samuel cup and handle for sure, right? That's that slanted cup and handle I've played so many times in my life. Gives me the measured move and tells me we're going somewhere to 162. Tells me we could even get there by June or July. That would be amazing if we get this just pump in May out of nowhere. Like I go to Dubai and things just rip. I come home and we're just like, it's just like out of control, just constant. Hey, anything is possible. You got to maintain and just stick through. Honestly, I believe this is a beautiful DCA here, in my humble opinion. Like Cardano, like great price for Cardano. There's a low, huge high. There's a higher low. That's a stepping stone. And again, I hold Cardano. I've been in Cardano since 2 cents. I've been in Cardano for 8 years. That's insane, right? Since 2017, I've been holding Cardano. So I think that's insane. I don't know if I've ever held something like, yeah, Bitcoin and Cardano are the two things I've held like basically longer than anything else in the world. Bang. Probably some ETH too. I bought some ETH at 89, probably still have kicking around. $1.61. Again, it's going to take its time. Likely this is like a shoulder. It comes up. It makes another right shoulder. That's 15 more days sideways. Goes, you know what I mean? It could take time. And it might even be till October. It might be a more elongated rally there. But I'm bullish on it. And I would definitely be adding to my bags here. But you do whatever makes you happy. I can't tell anybody what to do. That's not my thing. Shout out to all the awesome fan funding. We got Cryptic Rick. We got Mike Reinhardt. R. Sanders. So Salty. We got Master Friend. Wayne Moore. Don't Savor. R. Sanders and Mad B. God bless everybody here on the live. And shout out to everyone that's kicked it with me all these years. I still can't believe we've been on this long. It's like the longest running TV show in the game, right? Like, how is this TV show still going? But God, thank you. Let's keep it running. Lazaro Alberta says, can we get some TA on the FARTCOIN over here? Let's take a look at FARTCOIN. Bullish summer, we're due. You never know. Usually the summer is horrible. Remember, Alchemist AI was on an absolute tear. It held a lot of the gains that it made. And then it made a flag and pumped out of that flag. Since it's double top, but I mean, it's almost like back to where I got. It's like above where I got in. Like I'm actually in the money now. This is crazy. If you told me that I was going to be in the money on one of my little AI coins, and it tells me it was virtual coming back with a vengeance. I believe this is going to be speculative because there's no guarantees of anything. I believe it will. Now I use the word I believe and feel because this is based on me. And again, I could be completely wrong. And it's what the charts convey over time. But the charts are too small for us to know exactly what will happen. Like we could convey like a move here and there, but is virtual going to come all the way back to the upside? I believe it will. I believe it will. Shout out to Dennis Fetters. Welcome to Dubai. Let me buy you a cup of coffee when you get here. I'll be there April 27th or 28th. I don't even know how the day goes because it's like, always be here to the end, brother, and beyond. God bless you, Crypto Cash. We love you, man. Hump day. Let's go. You're banging on it. Shout out to Matt, TA on XRP. Thank you, Matt, for the $20 super chat. You didn't have to give, but you did. Thank you, Dennis, for the AED. You didn't have to give. You did. Thank you to everyone that gave today. That's very, very nice of you. It'll come back to you tenfold. You didn't have to do that, but you did. So I'm looking at this to make, like, I don't know, some inverted head and shoulder. You see how it has head and shoulder there, but it could bounce. Again, I wouldn't buy. I bought this a long time ago. I don't want anyone to, like, you know, it's up to you, but I'm just amazed that this coin is actually doing damage compared to where it used to be. So somehow there's some hope in these smaller coins. Alchemist AI, which is a coin we got into a long, long time ago, along with Leia AI, right? What's Leia doing? I haven't looked at her in a long, like, so they just kind of, you know, back to where we kind of got in. Ava AI is how this all started for me. I got in here, she dumped, I figured she was turning into nothing, and then she ended up being a huge pump for me. She's back to kind of almost like where I got her at, which is crazy. Even if I miss my show during my workout, I have to catch, otherwise I can't sleep at night. I love that. I just popped in from Canada, Vancouver, Ireland. Happy Wednesday, my brother. Off to the body shop. Hit a deer last week. You know, I thought about hitting a deer last night. Thank God it didn't happen. I just thought about that last night. So funny. Good morning, ICP, please. Big time frames, thank you. Love from the Alejandre brothers. Shout out to Carlos Alejandre. Carlos, I love you, man. Hope you and your brother are doing great. So we got to look at FARTCOIN. We got to look at, I just want to make sure we're on. We did Cardano and TRX. We got to look at FARTCOIN, and we got to look at ICP. And we got to kind of get back onto Bitcoin there, which is showing signs that it may consolidate here now and actually start to get busy. Could have been the perfect buy there, for sure. Could be making that right shoulder there still. I'm weird with price action recently. It's had me a little, you know. That bounce though, man, the bounce off the that'll burn for a while. I would have made basically 18,000, but whatever. I didn't do it. I wouldn't have made nothing. Forget that. It didn't exist. Stop talking about it. Hey, I got to tell myself to be quiet always. Don't you know how to use your mind? If you use your mind pushing for things later on, like, right, or that happened in the past, then you won't get where you need to be. Understand? Makes sense. Okay, so let's take a look at XRP and FAT. Hey, FART's been hot compared to the rest of the market, so I'll speculate on when anything that has basically has volume to it. So the last time we looked at it possibly breaking out, but now it's in another, I've seen these break out many times. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. Topping point, rising point, and then, so this is consolidating. That is consolidation. And it's consolidating on like the 4-hour time frame. It's got the W that Bitcoin just had on like the 5-minute. I'll be honest, this coin has volume. If Bitcoin stays stable and breaks and doesn't go too bad, you know, dump huge, then this coin will likely could get a bounce here. I like how it's keeping the moving averages there. So yeah, they're on the 21. The 200's coming up. Previous support was resistance right there. You kind of hit that area. Then you got a double bottom. I'm bullish on this. This looks like it's going to pump to the upside. I could be wrong. But if anything pumps in the next few days, it looks like this may. And I could be completely wrong. It's super high risk. I get it. Probably worth just not touching it all. But I only look for things that have high probability. Or I look at things and then I only really post or spend a focused amount of time on things that have high probability. And this thing looks pretty nice to me. I like what I'm seeing here. All right. Let's take a look at XRP and ICP on the bigger time frames. First, we're going to look at ICP on like that 3-day chart, that weekly chart. Let's take a look. So you want to delete everything, get rid of the moving averages, give yourself a moment, and you want to just breathe with the price action. For me, that's just the only way I can really see the story. And you want to kind of look at what happened. You know, we had a huge pump, we dumped, we went sideways, we pumped up, we dumped. And you can see, well, this is a key area we must regain. And it's really like a bigger area, but we got to, you know, you can even say that's the major resistance right there. Bounce, resistance. We got to flip 722. Got to flip it. That falling wedge would have to break back out. I mean, they are supposed to. But again, I mean, you're back to that same, I mean, you're back at the lows too, where the range bound area likes to bounce. You could still drop to $3. You could go to 0, you know. I mean, it had that pump from $3 to 18, a nice 6X, and it did it from October to March. I mean, that was the alt season right there. That was it. We got October to March of 2024. We got alt season. It just didn't. It happened before the halving. It was weird. We've never seen that before. All coins ran up before the halving. That's why you got to just trade what the market gives you. And there was bearish div on the weekly. You had to get out at the highs. Like, it's crazy, man. They extended these coins to the point of no return. So now what? Like, honestly, I haven't really ever seen something like this. Usually, we get our bull run pump. We get our bear market dump, and we stay down there and make the, you know, we don't get these like mini pumps and dumps inside of the market. So now I'm like, okay, well, what are you doing? Are you going back down to a bear market low? Or are you just kind of hanging out for another revisit, you know? And everyone says, well, Bitcoin's going to pump. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Shoulder head, right shoulder. Like, if that happens, I'd get in at the right shoulder. For me, a breakout and a retest of 756 might be nice, and then zoom in. Like, if you really got to like get some better information, because I can't get a lot from the bigger time frames. All right, so break above 482 and retest. You know what I mean? Other than that, like, this thing looks like it may just continue to go down. Like, that's somewhat descending. So I'm not a fan of what I'm seeing here for ICP. And I wouldn't be touching this coin at all for any reason. If it broke above 474, maybe on a scalp or something, but I'd be all set. I'd be all set. Not for me over here. Okay. So now look at it. It's starting to moon. And that was the perfect entry there and curving up. Now you got to pay more to play more, you know, and you're chasing a little bit. And it could make the right shoulder and just dump us too. That's why it's nice to get into that key aggressive point. You're already up and you can kind of play with that idea. I'd like this to curve down and come back to the bottom of the channel one more time, but it could just rip. Lately, we've been getting some big pumps in the small time frames. Makes you want to slightly reduce the risk. And again, you want to get really comfortable trading with small amounts of money. The better you are at trading small amounts of money, the better you'll be at trading bigger amounts of money when the time is right. It's a 2 for 5. It's not really my thing at this point. Unless, where am I going? 80, yeah, sorry, 86,374. All right, that's better. It's a 4 to 1 almost, yeah. No, it's 2 for 5 still. Why is that? It didn't change. Oh, price action just boomed up. Yeah. So I'd have to move the stop to there. So now you're, you know, see how risk changes when you don't execute? My execution is so thin. Like, it's got to be done correct. It is not easy to copy me because I know exactly what I'm doing with very tight parameters. And look, I could see this right shoulder still possibly taking us down. I've just seen it happen. This has happened before. So if I've seen it happen, I can't say it's not there. That's the problem with knowing a lot about trading. Eventually, you can't say things don't exist. You got to say they're there. And the more you know, the more you have to take in. And then the more you have to take in, the harder it is to juggle the information. So the less you know, you start small. So that's why trading does get overwhelming at point, but you'll get through that time. If you push, your mind will get better at organizing information, will help you work out. You'll think clearer. You'll be able to do things with your mind you weren't doing before. You'll be, you know. And people say, oh, I'm not good at math. I can't trade. All this stuff. People make so many excuses. The same back to I'm struggling. Like, again, is anybody struggling here today? Is anybody struggling? Put a 222 if you're struggling. Are you struggling? Put a 222. I want to see if anyone here is struggling now today. Is anybody struggling? Or you could say, I was struggling, but I'm not struggling anymore. I used to struggle, but now I'm not struggling anymore. All right. Double my daily goal already. I love it. Now it's 1 for 5. Now that's a trade. You see? Could extend it to 84,492. Meet him in the middle at 157. And you want to check your liquidation price, 82,695. Right? And that's somewhere way down here, way lower than you would even think we're going, right? 2 more candles to the right, and I'll be more into this. Just show me the consolidation a little bit here. You know. I'm struggling, but I deny it. Amen, I like that. I deny the fact that I'm struggling. That's not happening to me, right? Think about it. When I was a kid, I wanted to get on to, like, they had the hockey team, they had the C, B, and A team, right? And I was on the C team. I started. I wasn't good. They didn't travel. Their house. They just kind of played little games at the small rink. But the travel team got to go to all the big rinks and do stuff, right? Of course, I wanted to make the travel team. So I told myself, like, I can do this, right? I didn't tell myself I was struggling. If I told myself I was struggling, good chance I wasn't going to make it off the C team to the B team, man. And then to the A team, right? Good chance it wasn't going to happen. I needed every ounce of my mental power to get myself where I needed to be as a kid, and you're the same as an adult. You don't need to stop believing in yourself because you got old. You know, you got to keep that same fire, that child. That's why people that don't give up their childhood spirit actually accomplish a lot in life, because when you're a kid, you believed in yourself. You were a lot. Remember how positive you were as a kid? Remember how many times you said, oh, I'm going to do it. Yeah, mom. Or your mom was like, you did great. If you had good parents, they hopefully hit you with positive energy, right? So I took the trade now after all that waiting. I took the trade because it's setting up correctly, and I could still lose. You have to understand, even after all the waiting and the patience. And I stayed late here on the stream just to show you, because I wanted to show you the execution. I didn't want to leave before I made that move. Look, it's already up $15 and literally under, like, I don't know, 30 seconds. We'll see what happens, though. 17, come on, baby. This thing could rip back to 86,000. And, you know, I just feel better when Bitcoin's pumping. It's a better day when Bitcoin pumps. So I'm calling it. This booger's about here funny. As long as I have better discipline, I'm going to make it 100%. I've made the money, but I'll lose it. Okay? Yesterday was the last dip. But that's the thing. People can make money, but they can't keep it. We got to stay disciplined, man. Girls and guys, ladies and gentlemen. All right? Someone says on Soul looks like a double top. It does look like a double top here too. You have resistance now at 85,000. You got to break back above it. I'm challenged daily, continually working my challenge. Amen. Somebody says Soul will pass its all-time high like nothing. I can't wait for that day. They asked me what I want when I grew up. I said Rockstar. They said I can't do both. They're funny. Daniel, none of you listen to the jar. You're funny. Hey, Sam, love the 99 and everything I've been learning. Would love to meet you in St. Pete. Come by from dessert at Chico Churros. Can you look at Pendle, please? Shout out to Luco Strongilos at Chico Churros. Hey, we'll look at Pendle, man. Thank you so much for the $9.99. Let's take a look at Pendle. USDT. And what did I do? I probably spelled it wrong. Let's take a look at Pendle here on MEXC. All right. Last time I looked at Pendle, I did put out a long for it, right? Let's see if that played out or not. Or did it get bagged? Like what time frame? The 1 hour or something? Yeah. So yeah, I saw Pendle here in this flag and decided it could break out. Said, I'd like Pendle here. Got in with a stop loss. It did. It broke out and made about 20% gains. I mean, that's beautiful. I gave this to the trading group a while back. It's now still holding, and it went up 41 at one point, and it's still holding the gain. So let's reassess. I haven't looked at this ever since I put it out back in the 30th of March. It's been 2 weeks, but you can see that that clearly played out. So another one of my setups did play out there, and I don't even like toot my horn over everything. I put out so many setups. Yeah, everyone's like, look at me, look at me. Just know that I'm consistent, and you're going to see it over and over again on all sorts of assets and every different thing. And no, I'm also wrong. I'm not always right. I'm a human being. I wish I could be 100%, but that would make me not human. So it just... See that shoulder, head, bit of a right shoulder there? Pendle. It's pending for a pump. But I could see Pendle making a move. Stop loss below that wick low there. Gives you a 2.5 risk reward ratio. You have to want to go up almost a little more there, but not too much. See if you can get 259. But it does say 451 is the target. I'd be watching Pendle. Again, Bitcoin has a collapse, everything dumps, but we'll take it one step, one day at a time. But Pendle does look pretty interesting compared to the rest of the market. Yep. So broke its uptrend structure. Looked like we all get big retracement, and therefore alt sees it. Right now, the chart doesn't say it'll break. It's all-time high. Thank you. Yeah, I agree for the shorter time frame for sure. Not Perpetual always front runs the spot contracts. So we'll see. Now it's like a double top. You see, now they are making the right shoulder. And if this dumps in my face, it is what it is. I gotta be, I'm toying with resistance. It could be a bearish dump. And it's the end of the pump. Usually I'm in there and I'm out there and I'm out for the day. You see what I'm saying? I was kind of late to the party today, so now I'm trying to pick up the extra pickings instead of selling off and walking away like I am usually. I'll be sour over that 18. Bitcoin looks like it wants to make a double top of the 5-minute time frame. Bro, your content is consistently great. Thank you for it. God bless you. Thank you for saying that. I hope I did something for somebody today. If I show up every single day and somebody gains some knowledge, education, learns about themselves, pushes themselves to the next limit, decides they're not going to live a mediocre life anymore, decides enough is enough. If I got a bunch of people to decide they're not going to struggle anymore today and they're going to change the way they live, then this stream was worth it. I'll remember this stream forever as the day where we unstruggled people. You are not struggling. You're going through a tough time. The environment, your outside forces may be throwing some stuff at you. Things are going to come our way. 100%. Things are not going to be perfect. Things are going to come our way. We're going to go through ups and downs. This is a fact of life. Okay? How we deal with them is what makes us who we are. Amen. I've dealt with a lot of ups and downs to get where I'm at on this channel. There's a lot of days where just things just didn't go perfect. I've been cut off by the internet, right? I've been cut off by the electricity. I've had internets not work at hotel rooms. I've been stressed out. Plane delays and ups and downs, but we've made it through. Somehow, every single time, we just keep coming back to that consistency, and we make it. I don't know how, I don't know, but we do every single time. So. Hey, Sam, love the 99, everything I have been learning. Would love to meet you. Thank you, God bless, brother. And let's take a look at that fan funding one more time. $100 of chat revenue. You people are amazing. That'll come back to you all tenfold. And we said thank you to everyone that did to give a super chat. Shout out to Matt. Shout out to Luca. Strongilos. And thank you. One day I will check out Cheeky Churros and you can say hi. God bless you, brother. So Bitcoin looking like a shoulder head, a slanted head and shoulder. Unless it could bounce here and consolidate. I front ran the consolidation. I could be right or wrong now. We'll see what happens. We don't want to get the dump back to the 200 MA. That's what will occur. We want to get the bounce and the tightness and the bump out. Right now in the 5 minutes is going to teach you what's going to happen in the next 15 minutes. So I would use your 5 minute for confirmation because that's the time frame that's going to be clear. It's going to give you the most amount of clarity to teach you where you're going. All right. Follow me at CryptoLifer33 on Twitter. I'd greatly appreciate that. On X.com, I'd greatly appreciate that. I'm here every single day, talking, doing stuff, sharing my life behind the scenes, my Legos. You can see what the studio looks like, what we're doing, and have a blast. Yeah, that looks head and shoulder vibes, man. I don't like it. I'm out. I'm about to call it a day. Yeah, it should have bounced by now. It should have bounced. I'm done. I like taking small losses. I'm out. Yeah, it should have bounced. Don't do that to me. You should have bounced and made a flag. You didn't make the flag, so you already broke the trend line. We know the likelihood is we're going to dump. So you don't wait to lose 200. Just cut off it for 80, 90 bucks. Okay. Super chat Bila. Crypto Rick, we love you. Super chat Bila, please. Bila? I don't know what Bila is, man. Yeah. And let's just look today, too. The market, a little tight. Right? Jasmine coins, only thing, wow. Still ripping, at least, wow. But down on the day, but up huge on the week. But, you know, all coins up a percentage, a half a percentage in the last hour. Radium had a nice little pump. FARTCOIN up 7%. EOS, you know, nothing too crazy. PENDLE holding 4% on the week. But as you can see, altcoins are not the talk of the town. Still DCAing. Still areas to grab. Again, it's not easy. They're going to make this very, very difficult for whatever reason. Too many people know about cryptocurrency. It's more popular than it used to be. Before it wasn't. So like everyone was like, oh, we got the alt seasons that we were supposed to get, because they didn't really care. They were like, yeah, you guys are the nerds, so you'll get. Now there's just too many people in the market, and they can't give. So if you have like every single YouTuber saying we're going to have this alt season and that's what's going to happen, it's just, I don't know what YouTubers are that don't teach anything and just kind of speculate on the market, because what are you going to keep doing? Keep telling everyone, like, you know, I don't know what's going to happen to the market. We could go into a Great Depression. I'll teach you how to short it. We'll make money either way. We're going to be open-minded and take advantage of the market no matter which way it goes. Sometimes we're not going to be perfect. Sometimes we're going to be better. It depends. Like, dang, like, I just been off. And today I've been off too. Sometimes you're just off. Like, I did not get a great night's sleep last night. I got to be honest with myself too. So it's just, you know, now I'm like, dang, it's going to pump. They got mixed signals on me again. All right. Someone said Bella. I don't know what Bella is either. Let's see here. Bella? I've never heard of Bella. Bella Protocol 58 Bell. It's got a tiny market cap. Platform that provides a suite of DeFi products designed to make crypto banking simpler. Sounds cool. Smart pool with gas fees. Binance launch pool platform. I think I remember this back in the day. It's been out a long time. Why now? Why Bell now? Bella. Maybe it's hot. Let's see. Are you just curious? You want to see what I'm seeing, right? Man, that thing looks hot now. They stopped hunting me. Made me think it was going to head and shoulder there. Well, at least I got out in case. I could have just kept it. Dang, man. Messing with my mind today. It's like, I like this strategy. I like where we're at, but maybe I just got to walk away for the day and leave it alone. Maybe it's one of those days for me. It's like 1 out of 50, 60 days. Usually I'm on point. I can nail it. So if you're off, man. You're a human being, right? You're not going to be perfect. Let's take a look here at 84,464. Still getting some strange vibes there from this look. I love that 150 for 5, though. This one I'm just going to commit no matter what. Like, either I'm in or out. I got indecision. See, it's in my mind today. See, my mind is affecting the trade. See, I'm probably just a little not as on point because I didn't get as much sleep. So my mind's like, so a lot of times if you can't make a good trade, it might be your mind. And then you can't tell if it's your mind or not. And you're thinking it's the charts. But it's you. You're a human being. Like, You have to keep reminding yourself, I'm a human being. Did I eat enough? Did I drink enough? Did I sleep enough? Where am I? Like, what am I doing? Like, these are affecting your trades no matter what we think. I'm just going to leave it alone for a little while and not FOMO in, even though it gives me that vibe. All right. Bell is an old, I believe it's an old coin that just seems like it's in the dumps, man. A DeFi protocol that maybe will pump when the market rips. I don't know. Look at that thing. Like, does it look good to you? I see what you're saying. The daily's getting above the 200 or the 3-day. Maybe you see something. You just want to, like, you know, it's possible that pumps back up to, you know, back up to that range, right? The daily did just break above the 200. So if the daily's above the 200, then you flag out like the 30-minute or the 1 minute or the 1 hour. It kind of looks like it's doing the same thing Bitcoin's doing, which is so weird, right? They all like the shoulder, the head, the right shoulder that it's tracking. I'm going to leave it alone. Looks like we'll probably pull back to the 200 and we'll go from there on these small time frames. No coulda, woulda, shouldas out here. We did what we did. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. I appreciate it more than you would ever know. I'll be back tomorrow with more knowledge, updates, and ideas. I wish I was able to hit every single trade every single day, but there was some gains out there to be had, depending. And that 5-minute break off that 2 May, man, what a move. What a move. But shout out to everyone. I'll be back tomorrow for more awesome tip, tricks, updates, and positive affirmations. Today was great, though. We went over a lot. We went over how strong the mind really is. We kind of played. It was a pretty good exercise in how your mind creates your reality. I think we made it really clear today. Are you struggling? Right? So the secret to success is believing that you're not struggling and believing that you are. You know what the secret to success is? Believing you are the secret to success. That's the secret.